And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 125. So, this is essentially the show that's happening right now. Nothing else happened before this that you guys probably seen. Currently, right now, something
we totally have been waiting here for 17 minutes already.
No, we don't do that around here.
Yeah.
It's a well-oiled machine around here.
Oh God, we're professional. We have a lot of hot ladies that come and talk to us on stream, especially
we had a couple of hot ladies and then they don't show up here anymore.
Hey, that wasn't my fault. That was your guys' fault. Fuck off. And essentially, something's been going on with my internet. So potentially after this show, I should probably go and unhook the router and reset it because it's just been, man, it's been hell essentially, you know? Because like
power lines are on fire.
You better get this show rolling on while you still got internet now before you drop back to one bar again like you did before.
Before your prepaid internet runs out.
Why did everyone make you put on my internet tonight?
Yo, admitted 999 right now. You better hurry up.
Yeah.
I did the whole Spectrum online live service chat function, and she says, "Yeah, everything's working fine." I'm like, I was like, lady, every single time I go on StreamYard, it randomly will drop. And the guy told me it wouldn't drop anymore after the free upgrade they gave me. She was like, "Oh, it's working fine." I never want to deal with women representatives ever again. She was trying to have me like get the MAC address off my router. I'm like, lady, I'm having issues. My butthole leaking. My leg is broke. Oh, just put a Band-Aid on it. It's like, oh okay. All right. Good Lord, man. That's why I love dealing with men. Men are way better in every single regard. Conversations, just having an overall better atmosphere. You know, they treat me better. They make me feel good. I know it sounds kind of gay. I understand.
We get it. You like men.
No homo. Literally no homo.
There's no shame in that.
You know, not Diddy's
don't
way.
ask, don't tell.
We don't discriminate.
Loves the dudes. Loves the dudes.
Look, literally no Diddy. Just I'm straight as a highway. You know, I love women. Eating a vagina.
I don't know if you've been on a highway recently, but highways kind of like curve in certain directions.
At some point, they curve. At some point, they're mostly straight initially.
There's a lot of hallways that loop at some point. So I don't know if you.
That's called a bridge. Oh my gosh!
If you got nice pecs, MSK wants you next. All right, that's his slang. Or that's his slang nowadays.
Hey,
MSK says he wants a man to treat him like those police officers treated the Joker in that last movie.
Yeah, no. Give me a hot shower, butt naked, right?
Yeah, that's totally what happened to him.
Allegedly,
definitely what happened.
Goodness gracious. People ask me, was I okay? Because people know I live in California, and hey, you know, it's not easy living here as far as like the prices are concerned, you know, but I've kind of got it down to a science now. It's not that bad. Literally, as long as I don't just spend all my money on random retarded expensive things, I can live. But no, you'd have to literally just be burning through essentially almost 2.5 hours of civilization to even get close to me. Fortunately for me, I live in a pretty, I won't say great area, but an area where no one really cares or remembers if we exist at all on this map. So I'm fine for the most part. I mean, hopefully they get it under control because it's still really concerning. Like if this starts peeking into other people's territories, that's when you're really going to have some problems there. I mean, even after it's over, like people have been literally losing their entire livelihoods, and people just are so I don't know, assholes just for no reason. I understand that you don't have to like someone, but when someone goes through a tragedy, could you be like less of an actual asshole? Like people are just like, oh my God, you lost everything. Haha. It's like, come on. That's a little uncalled for, you know, like that's actually
kind of just backlash against all the people in North Carolina because, you know, all the people that are getting hit right now are kind of a lot of the same people that were talking shit about that. So it's kind of getting their comeuppance right now.
Like I said, it's a situation where it's very difficult to be sympathetic towards a lot of the people that this happened to. Now, I'm not saying this is everyone, because I mean, there are some people who aren't, you know, Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio, who's going through some rough times right now. So you got to keep that in perspective. But at the same time, I mean, you're talking about a place, if you guys don't know LA, Pacific Palisades is basically like the elite of the elite live there. It's like, it's there, like Malibu and like Calabasas, like that's where all your super, super rich elite celebrities live. 80% of that entire neighborhood is super left-wing Democrat, which means that these are people who voted for literally every rung of government that controls us right now. They voted for Biden, they voted for Harris, they voted for their mayor, like
Voted for Newsom. Yeah.
So every rung of Democrat control that you see right now, they voted for. So it's hard on a certain level to be like, well, you're literally getting what you voted for. Like, this is all the policies that you see in place right now that's literally screwing you guys over. Is everything you supported up to this point.
That's the reason why it's getting so much coverage. It's because it's actually hitting some of the rich areas right now. Because usually, like, we get fires here basically every year, if not every other year. And then when the Santa Ana winds hit it at the same time, like even where I'm at right now out here in Chatsworth, I'm getting 100-mile-per-hour winds and shit left and right. It's just like for the last like 3 days. And there was a fire that started here a couple days ago, like pretty close, but I think they got that one actually contained. I think it's just the ones that are kind of coming up. Can you guys hear that? No. Okay, good. My noise gate is working. Somebody's fucking with the TV downstairs. Sorry. but yeah, when the Santa Ana winds and everything hit, it was like a TV. It's like the TV static when they hit the wrong button.
Yeah. No, it's okay now. You're fine. It was only like less than a second.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so when the winds hit, the Santa Ana winds hit, and like it's fire season is kind of what's happening right now. Those two things combined, like I said, I've said this before, like it can jump like the freeways, and our freeways out here are huge. Like they're like 2 5-lane freeways. So you'll have like a 10-lane freeway and you'll just watch fire like whoop, shoot right over that shit. And now it lights the whole other thing on fire. But usually it's hitting stuff like the foothill mountains and stuff. And there's not a lot of people that live there. There are people that live up in the hills, but it's not that bad.
It's been getting close to Pasadena. Like Pasadena is a place a lot of people know. Like that's not good.
That one's pretty big. That one's getting close to there. But right now it's hitting like the big areas. It's hitting $1 million houses. It's not hitting people in like these trailer park things up in the hills like it usually does. So that's why it's getting so much coverage right now.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Y'all three of you live in California. I live in Indiana.
Yeah, used to live in California.
Okay, sorry. So
former California.
Explain to me.
I was the only one smart enough to leave.
There you go. Where do you live now?
I got too much family here.
I'm in Georgia now.
All right, good for you.
So we went to a place where that's Planet of the Apes, essentially.
Yeah, except for now we're dealing with ice instead of fire. So that's the only year.
So they get ice storms there.
All right. So the ones living in California, explain this to me. Why can't they use the water from the ocean to do anything?
It salts the earth and then it ruins everything. And then
the fire doesn't.
Well, the fire does, but then you can't rebuild on anything, and you won't be able to grow anything back. And then basically it's for like the forestry and all that, like all the animals and stuff, when all that stuff comes back, because then it pushes everything out, and nothing will live there and stuff.
To do short answer your question, it's basically because of a lot of the EPA regulations that won't allow them.
There's that too. Yeah.
Well, and I say that because in Florida, where my mom is right now, where the 2 hurricanes hit, and they had this big surges come on. I mean, literally wiped out houses, and it's like it's devastation down there. And a lot of the trees and the shrubbery and the grass and everything else all had the salt water from the Gulf up there, and stayed for a couple of days. And I went down there last week, and you can see a lot of them were brownish, but they're all coming back. The vegetation just grows right back. I don't know how it is in California, but in Florida, it's so plush it comes right back.
It's mainly the regulations, I think, and that has to be it. Because I mean, they'll just dip into people's pools. I've straight up seen helicopters like drop down. They grab like a bucket of water. They'll like drain somebody's pool with one of those things and go and use their pool water and go dump that. And that shit has a bunch of chemicals and shit in it too.
Yeah. So you guys got to save the smelt. Remember the smelt fish? You got to save those.
That's one of the dumbest things.
Fish. Yeah. Because the one thing I wanted to bring up, because there's a lot of things that you guys have been reading about the fires and talking about, because a lot of people don't get this. Our state is so badly ran that the place that it's that giant area they usually get all the water to fight the forest fires and everything. Yeah, that's empty. Yeah, that big thing we used to have to deal with all those really bad fires. How there's fire hydrants without water. That should automatically make you not electable again. Like, come on. That's like a bare minimum.
Here's my question. If the fire hydrants don't have water, then do I still get a ticket if I park in front of one? Because
that's good.
Yeah. And what else? So they hired the first LGBTQ LAPD.
LGBTQ right now.
The fire chief. Yeah. So there's the fire chief and also the mayor out where that's happening. Both of them. And they're both very incompetent. Like, and I don't think it has anything to do with them being gay, but it's not helping the cause.
What's crazy is the one DEI hire calling out the other DEI hire. She's like, yeah, she cut all of our funding. Actually, that's not. She cut all that funding before that new fire department chief ever got there. They cut like what, $16 million?
It's like 17.
There was this one Mexican guy. He was like, "Hey, I tried to get hired, but they never called me back." He literally said, he was at one of those like those like Senate meetings that we have here. He was like, their priority is hiring blacks and like people of color, as he said.
Well, a few years ago, they fired 10% of their white dudes.
They did because they don't want to get the jab
to hire them in. Yeah, to hire in the DEI people. The video that really got to me, where I was like, I can't believe somebody was allowed to say this and still kept their job, is that one lady that she worked. I don't know if she's either a chief or just works as a fireman or a firewoman, whatever.
Oh, the black lady, I think you're talking about, right?
Yeah, it's the lady, and she's just like, oh, if you want to play that clip, that was the most horrendous thing. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. How you kept your job after saying that is it's reprehensible.
Because it's California.
I just want to also clarify before I play this. If this is literally, and I'm not even saying this to say literally as like, oh, it'll always happen. No. I literally mean this. If this was quite anyone else on this planet, that person is gone. But because this person is part of the lettuce, bacon, tomato community, I got to say this because he's on Facebook. They're not exactly free yet. Has mince my words a little bit. It's like this might be one of the most disrespectful things I've seen someone in a position of power like that say. Because I almost was a cop before, so I kind of know a lot that goes on a little bit. Still, I still remember all that training and shit like that. When you're in that position, all that you should be thinking about is protecting someone. You know. But this is what someone says to people, and they're in a position of power. Like that is just so triggering. And there was another video. Before I played, I saw this old guy, 91 years old, lose everything. 91 years old. He's like, It's crazy. That's how you know he's a real man. It's like, I'm still going to rebuild. Man, it's 91 years old. You got like maybe 9 years left to live. But I mean, I hope you can. I mean, I don't want to do
I mean, it's safe to say that 91-year-olds have actually seen some stuff, unlike the people of today who read things on the internet and then have like a meltdown for the next several days and they have to go like therapy because somebody had an opinion that they didn't agree with.
Yeah, he was crying, but it makes sense.
You lost 91 years of shit gone. Like,
they said the house raised his kids in, the grandkids in. Oh man, that one. You know how you like see certain videos like that, and you're like, man, I gotta just log off for a little bit. That one really hit. I was like 90 because I had a house fire growing up before. I had one, so I know exactly how people feel losing everything like that. So it's like, damn, imagine that someone being 91 years old and being like, you know what, fuck it, I'll still rebuild at 91. These kids out here these days are like, oh my god, Trump's my president. Now I have to go outside and threaten to kill myself. Oh my god, what a pussy. Oh my god, man, it's 91.
We know a lot of those, unfortunately.
Oh, God. But I mean, go down to Burbank and it's like, dude, they're just everywhere. It's like,
man,
and I mean, it's a whole different place down there now.
West Hollywood, Laurel Canyon.
West Hollywood.
Like climate control. It's like climate control, even though they deliberately did things to make sure your fire department had nothing. Climate control, really? That's what's to blame.
It's funny. The first few hours that this fire started, there were people out there desperately trying to be like, "This is climate change. This is all thanks to the climate." It's like, guys, it's a wildfire. It's like
it happens every fucking year.
And then you figure out how incompetent everyone was in between there, and that climate change narrative died very quickly because they realized, even we can't even blame this one on the weather.
Yep.
Oh, God, man. And what else was there? Fucking hell. Then they published a headline piece, or it's like the LAPD, the LA Fire Department chief, LGBTQ inclusivity, fighting the fires on the front line. She's fighting the fires on the front line while giving press calls. She's doing press calls on webcam. Fighting what fires?
Well, what about that one chick who was it the mayor who that was in a press conference? She didn't even talk.
Yeah, they just bombarded her with questions and she just stood there. like some
There
loser.
was
Yeah,
the one
man.
who went up there and all she did is she sounded like she was at an accepted speech at like one of these award shows. She's like, I want to thank this person. I want to thank this person. And she just did that. And then the mayor went out there and she's like, you can go and find information at URL. And that was just her sentence.
Oh,
Just imagine
She
that.
just said that out loud. And it's like nobody helped her out or anything. And it was like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah, man, just imagine that people's lives are literally just gone forever, and all she can do is tell you to go to some internet URL link that they don't even have internet. They have
She didn't even have the link. She literally said the words URL or the letters URL. She didn't have the link name. She didn't even know the name of the website. She was just like URL. And she said
that's
that
the elected officials.
Not even www, just URL.
URL, yeah. I was like, we had to play it a couple times at the last stream I was on that was talking about this, and I was just like, I didn't hear that before, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. I didn't see that video before, and it's bad. It's bad.
Like, that's your elected official that the people of LA elected in, and Gavin Newsom. If they literally keep their jobs after this, then that means, you can't help the state anymore. If there's only so much you can do to someone before they just finally snap, but at some point, if they do something so heinous like this, and they're still allowed to be around, then I guess people just want to live in perpetual hell. People just want to live this way. And this is your resident. Is this Jaden Smith's brother? I don't fucking know, honestly.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire
a guy
call.
or a girl?
Looks like
That's a lady.
It's a
That's ma'am.
Oh God, the first part where she's like, yeah, when you have an emergency, it feels good to have someone look like you, help you in your lady. If I was shot,
it's like if I need help, it's because I'm passed out and I'm not seeing anything anyways. Like
it's like, lady, if I was shot and the fucking white and I saw someone and he was white and he's like, sir, I know you've been shot. Blah blah blah. I don't care if he was white. I'm shot. Get me to the hospital.
I'm not helping you. The black ambulance is about 5 minutes away. They'll be here to help.
Look,
you.
if you're
Don't
waiting for the
it.
400-pound Blue Hell Lambwell ambulance, it's like you might as well just run to the pearly gates. It's just run to the light.
You're shot. You're dead.
You don't want to go back.
Why is that ambulance looking like a lowrider? It's like there's 4 fat bitches in there. Like,
wait, why does this ambulance car have hydraulics on it? Holy crap!
it gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
What the hell was that? What?
Which is the point of your job.
Yeah, that's your
They're
job.
in the wrong
That's your job.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know a fire was going to start here. I better move now. What kind of dumb
That's a
statement
cheap
was that?
firefighter saying, "Hey, you
passed
ever
out
thought
from
that you being in a
smoking.
fire was your fault?"
Like, I passed out from
what the
smoke
hell was
inhalation.
that?
Sorry, I got into that. My bad. Smoke inhalation got me. I shouldn't have been there. Yeah, no shit.
Oh shit! Just imagine this. Oh, hold on. Just imagine this.
That couldn't have been
hold on.
real. That could not have been real.
This.
That's a real thing.
Imagine if that was a guy. Imagine if that was a black guy and he said, hey, if your girlfriend got sexually assaulted, maybe she shouldn't have been there. Just imagine if someone says that.
It's the same argument. It's so bad, man. Like, and if that person is still on the fire force or whatever you want to call it, like Jesus Christ, dude, like that immediately be fired. Come on, that just it makes everyone else look bad.
And I want to show you guys this too, because this is the last part that really wow. So then this person said something absolutely retarded, like might be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard on the internet. And that's saying something. I've been on the internet for like fucking past 12 years. But then she tries to make it sound good because there's only 5% of women on the fire department.
To carry him out of a fire.
How does that make anything what she said better?
Yeah, so like if that 5% shows up, you're probably gonna die because they can't carry your ass out. like literally, you're making my odds even worse. Is that what you're telling me? Like, this is not good.
Being a fire department person, you have to use an axe to hit down the build, obviously crack on the walls to get in, hoses, carrying people out.
They're carrying 80 to 100 pounds of equipment too. on top of that. You have to carry that, and then now you got to carry, like, I'm 205, I'm 6 foot. That person probably has me beat by 40 pounds, but I mean, like, it doesn't mean she
not
can
only
carry.
Do you have to carry that, you have to carry that in conditions where oxygen is an issue, like literally.
Yeah, while you're struggling already, like in, you know, you got a little bit of adrenaline if you're lucky, you know, if you haven't ran out of it by the time you get there, because you're putting yourself into a dangerous situation. Like,
but you shouldn't have been in the fire to begin with. You should have been away from that. Yeah.
Someone said, "Is that He-Man?" Okay.
Now,
all right.
Would it be improper if you say thank you, sir, to her when she's done? Thank you, sir.
Just throw your ass back in the fire.
Yeah. So keep in mind, when you're in a fire, oxygen is very, very, hard to come by. And imagine this woman is supposed to be in there to pick up a 250-pound man. Like, but it's your fault. You're in a fire.
Mm-hmm. You were just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, it's almost like that was an accident, like what you're here to help me from.
Maybe if you weren't such a bigot, you wouldn't have to worry about being in the fire.
There you go.
That's the same.
Like, my bigotry started my house on fire. Whoops. These crazy dreams I was having just manifested into fire around me.
I literally spontaneously combust from all my bigotry. So I ran around and caught my house on fire.
There's no way that person can look at that video and say back to herself, that didn't make sense.
No, looks back on it, it's just like, I absolutely nailed that interview. I'm so awesome.
Got him.
Yeah,
but so many people are inspired. People are just inspired to become firefighters after that. Like,
it's not even just going to be her; it's going to be her girlfriends. Like, man, you really showed those chuds. You really got those bigots. You really told them. What are you talking about?
High-fiving the other desk maids over.
Like, if that person comes up to any house fire, just somebody needs to clock them and just be like, okay, look, that person's here. We can immediately file a report that they weren't able to save anything, and every lawsuit. Like, just get a lawsuit every time that person shows up, because obviously they can't do their job.
Your city is literally burning to the ground, and that is the face of your leadership. At some point, you have to be like, I think I'm in the wrong place.
5% of your leadership. 5%, remember? Yeah. Dude, and keep in mind, that's the same argument that people use when girls get, like, raped or whatever, and they're like, man, well, she shouldn't have wore that. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you doing? It's the same thing. That's still the exact same argument.
Are you saying that these people are hypocrites?
No, never.
They will never be hypocritical about anything, any stances that they have. They're living.
And when she was talking about the man, she meant white man. You knew she meant that. Yeah, come on.
You mean the straight man.
Straight white male. Yeah, I forgot they're hard to come by these days. Wait, we have Cyphex here. You're a rare species.
Is she trying to say that black people don't own property? Is that what she's trying to say?
She isn't wrong per se. Just
hey, there's rappers in South Face who had fire to their apartments and stuff.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there's this Facebook reel. There's like the guys that'll stand out the clubs and ask the girls like questions like, "Where would you like the guys to leave it at?"
Yeah.
One of them asked, guy asked, "What do you guys like about black people?" And the girl's like, "They rap really good."
Not anymore. Have you seen modern rappers?
Have you seen
know what the hell they're saying anymore?
Fucking mumble rap.
Yeah. What the fuck is that?
All right. I gotta ask you guys. I'm an old man. I don't know this. I was watching WWE the other night. I'm a huge fan. And they had this, I guess, a rapper, Travis Scott. Is he a big guy?
Yeah.
He was out there smoking a joint in the LA Coliseum.
He had some fame, a little bit.
Well, he was famous because he had a concert about 4 years ago where 10 people died. And,
I remember that. Yeah,
he was coming out with one of the wrestlers. He's coming out with one of the wrestlers and he's smoking a joint in the middle of the LA Coliseum Center. Whatever.
They're on Netflix now. And apparently they can just get away with that.
Sydney says black men have. I understand. I have that too. I have 9 inches.
We get it. You're poor.
Jeez.
We get it.
I'm not gonna lie to the poor girl. I don't believe in lying.
9 inches is referring to the nightstick the guard left up there. But,
it's funny that you mentioned pro wrestling because I've made a lot of people in the pro wrestling community very, very angry in the last 5 days, specifically.
Oh, no.
is defending Hulk Hogan after the super city of Los Angeles decided that they were going to boo Hulk Hogan. Now, you can call it coincidence all you want, but LA decided they were going to boo Hulk Hogan because they hate him, and in 24 hours, all their homes were on fire. Coincidence? I don't know. I'm just saying it's facts. Nothing that I'm saying.
Might be a reach. Might be a reach. Just a little bit.
Or not. Or maybe there's a little bit. Maybe
what are you saying, brother? No.
Well, I'm saying is that for 40 years, Hulk Hogan was saying prayers and taking vitamins, and then God answered, their little blues with fire. So I'm just saying there's correlation there. But
I think you just irrationally hate Los Angeles now.
I mean, I would have a reason to.
I think it's pretty rational, actually. Years, sounds like he has a rational reason.
Oh, Gavin Newsom, another just worthless piece of shit. So this guy's fucking city is burning to the ground, and he went with Joe Biden on a party to Joe Biden's like great granddaughter's birthday.
Well, remember, he had to pretend like he was answering a phone call from Joe Biden before he jumped to an SUV and drove away like a Fast and Furious movie.
Dude, there's the other one where like he's blaming the neighborhood or whatever. He's just like, shit. Oh yeah, he's like, oh yeah, they ran out because this neighborhood just didn't keep up or something. It's something around those lines, and I was like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
the one where
the most incompetent
person. When you're talking about Trump, he's like, yeah, but he decided to politicize. What is wrong with you?
And this is what I mean.
Dude, and Trump just was on the interview with Rogan, right before the elections, and he was talking about this. He was like, dude, you guys need to fix that. And then there's another video of it from like 4 years ago with the same stuff.
Yep.
No,
Trump's been saying it for 5 years.
Trump's been talking about them cleaning up the parks and the forest and all this stuff in California for like 8 years. But because it's Trump, no one wants to listen to him. They just want to pretend like it's not actually a problem until everything's on fire, right? And then on top of that, it's like you want to feel bad for the people who are dealing with Gavin Newsom, but then, like I said, 80% of the people there voted for him, so they're getting the leader that they voted for.
Yep.
Oh, the image of him looking like the devil holding the fishbowl while the city's burning behind him.
Dude, I just want somebody to take that meme with the little girl who looks all like creepy with the house behind him on fire and just Photoshop his face on there, and that's what you get, man. That would be the perfect meme right now. I'm surprised I haven't seen it yet.
God, man. Like, I know we're kind of making a joke out of it, but like, seriously, our governor is
it's
trash.
terrible. It's terrible.
Every
time it's on fire.
Yeah. He's on web calls right now. What is he doing? Like, he's talking about he's mentally going deranged over Trump randomly right now. It's like, dude, could you like hate Trump at a later time? Does that really have to happen right now?
Yeah, can't you put that on the back burner, or maybe the wrong choice of words?
Oh no! Oh no! California gets in some like blazing inferno, which is crazy because Texas had a really bad ice storm like a few years ago. Like Texas has ice storms. We have infernos. Is this hell? This is what actual hell looks like. Don't give society any leeway.
A lot of places
have a
have
video here that might answer that question.
Oh no!
It does get to a point where you have to start asking yourself: is the entire city of Los Angeles under the judgment of God? I would say not yet, but probably. Here's a little video of things that happened in the course of 24 hours.
So much has already happened in the first half, and the acceptance speeches have been on fire. Who got shouted out the most? Let's look at the numbers. All right, cast and crew are leading the way with 11 mentions. Moms are holding strong with 3 shout-outs. God, creator of the universe, 0 mentions. No surprise in this godless town.
And then, city's burning. I'm pretty sure there's no correlation whatsoever between the two events.
And what did I hear that Mel Gibson was on the Rogan podcast while his house was being burned to the ground?
Yeah.
Was that true?
That's true.
Well, he was on it. He was on there recently. I'm not sure if it was.
Yeah, he wasn't sure. Yeah, he wasn't sure if his house was on fire, but he's like, yeah, there's a good chance it's on fire right now. And he's just like, whatever. I got a place in Costa Rica. I'm gonna go live down there.
Oh God, man. Like, our state is just so bad. Like, literally, when this is all over and hopefully people can get their lives together, hopefully, if he's still governor after this, you just want to live in hell. Literally, I would say right now, leave. That whole city, leave. Get the fuck out.
Get out of the whole state. Like at this point, like I think Razorfist got some shit for this last week because he released a video about this. It's like, look, if you've chosen to stay in an area like this, where, like I said, it's 80% controlled by Democrats all around the place. Like you, even though you didn't technically vote for this stuff, you've accepted that you're going to deal with living in enemy territory, which means that you deal with the consequences in living in enemy territory. It's like you can't sit there and be like, oh no, I'm going to be that one person that tries to save New York City. It's like New York is gone. Like you're either going to choose to stay there or you're going to try to get the hell out. It's the same thing with California. It's like at some point you got to understand the situation that you're in and make a move to get in or get out.
Hi, Judo. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
So where in Georgia do you live?
I'm basically like 30 minutes north of downtown Atlanta. So
okay.
Oh, okay. You're safe then. You're away from black people.
So you're not in Fulton County?
Perimeter.
Are you not? You're not in Fulton County, or are you in Fulton County?
No, I'm outside of Fulton County.
Oh, whew, good.
Yeah, I know all about Fulton County.
Sorry about your dogs the other night.
Well, I mean, like I said, Notre Dame apparently had God, and we had Mike Bobo, so there wasn't really much that we can do. Yeah, but I know it's going to be Ohio State and Notre Dame in the final. I think Ohio State's going to crush them. I mean, I don't know what happened in Ohio State after they got lost to Michigan, but they've been on a tear ever since. So,
yeah, Notre Dame, if their defense has got to step up because it wasn't very good the other night. They got lucky.
And you know what? Our beloved governor is on Twitter, and people say, well, he's a social media manager. No, he is more than competent enough to use his own social media. This is the way he talks. I know this is him doing it. It's not someone else doing it for him. Stop encouraging looting by lying and telling people it's decriminalized. It's not. It's illegal, as it always has been. I mean, you're the same person that allowed people to steal under $900.
Yeah,
just reversed like 2 weeks ago.
This is the reason why people in California have been stealing basically like $1,000 worth of stuff and less for the last several years, ever since the Summer of Love, which definitely didn't have any catastrophic effects for that town after the fact either. But you know, people just make it seem like, oh, I don't know why you guys think people could just steal here and get away with it, because they have been for a while.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, the effects of it, like you can go to like Vons, Ralph's, whatever. There's always like random sections that are just locked up now. Like the funniest ones is going to like Rite Aid, and deodorant is locked up. That one is hilarious to me. But it's like, dude, they lock down all these things, especially if you're close to certain areas. Like I have my closest Ralph's to me. Like the main problem over there is like the homeless near the Ralph's near me. But it's like all their liquor is locked up, all their beer is locked up, all their stuff is locked up. All their rows of medicine is locked up.
What kind of store is Ralph's? We don't have my. What is that? What is Ralph's?
So Ralph's is it's a grocery store, but it also has they sell liquor there, and then they have like toiletries, and then you can also get like medicine and stuff like
right,
especially like Walgreens.
Walgreens, Rite Aid, something like that. But it's just more of a grocery store. It's like one of our main
gas stations have stuff locked up now. Gas stations, that's crazy. Nerdrotic says resign. Jeremy was like, Gavin Newsom is American Psycho. All right.
Yeah.
California is releasing 76K inmates early, including violent felons.
Well, of course they are.
And then you wonder why, you know, these criminals are following all these Hollywood celebrities to their homes and robbing them even more.
Are you still pretending like you're on a phone call with Biden? Okay.
I'm on the phone right now. I gotta go. Start the car.
And we all know that Biden can't use a phone, so there you go.
Yeah, Biden does not use Twitter. I don't think he can even like see properly. No, remember how he was at that like press meeting and he was like, he's like, Kamala could have beaten Trump and should have beaten Trump.
There should have just been like a sound on the other end of the phone, be like, Brock, is that you? Who's this? Answer me.
All right, so do you guys want to hear you guys want to read the most weirdest headline for something before we go to society's obsession with Hulk Hogan, actually?
Yes.
Sure.
Good Lord. All right. So I know there's people watching on Andrew's side for Facebook, but keep in mind, I am not like this. I like actual women, real natural born women. Just want to make sure there's a disclaimer there, obviously.
I've never met a dude who has to reaffirm himself so much with that, but all right.
All right. Encourage women to smell their poop to be more inclusive to trans women. Some women have a hole where their penis used to be, and that hole often shares microbiome with the colon, creating a distinct transitioning odor.
Oh God!
Basically, that gaping wound where your penis used to be.
That's a sentence I could have lived without.
Yeah. You know what, MSK? Thanks. I can never unsee that. Thank you.
The first part. Some women have a hole where their penis used to be.
Yeah. So the gaping wound where their penis used to be is now has fecal matter in there. So trans women tend to stink far more than actual women, and it's up to actual women to make them not feel bad about it. So that's where we're at in society.
Somebody actually had to. Well, maybe they didn't. I think they had to research that to make it a sentence, or they know from their own personal use, one or the other.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Maybe they had a friend.
Probably whoever wrote the article.
That, when you start reading the book of Revelation and then God starts making all the water turn to blood, and then you start realizing, oh yeah, this is why. This is why. I get it now.
Those are memes where it was Jesus and he looks at the world with his eyes popping out, flooded again.
Mm-hmm.
Just the funniest one ever, man. Oh, or it's the one of Biden looking at America before he leaves office. Is like, my work here is done as the whole world's on fire.
Yeah.
Just ice cream bar.
God, man. Oh. This country is we're in a that's another thing that you can tell the media is such trash because LA is going through a pretty huge tragedy, blazing inferno right now, and all the media could focus on is what Obama was saying to Trump when they were at Jimmy Carter's funeral. It's like, oh my God, it's two dudes talking. Like, who gives a fuck? Is that newsworthy? That's newsworthy. When a whole city is burning down, you care about what Trump is saying to Obama? I mean, I like Obama myself, but like, he can talk to anyone he wants. Like, it's whatever. Like, is that what we're focused on? Oh my God, what did Obama say to Trump? What does that matter?
I tell you what he said. Trump leaned into him and said, Hey, Barry, see this good-looking bitch beside me? I had her last night.
Yeah. How's your husband doing?
Like, come on, we all know he has a dick. I don't know why we're pretending otherwise.
Give my goodwill to Big Mike.
Oh God.
You have a photo of it? I actually would like to see it, just out of pure curiosity.
Is your wife's dick bigger than yours? Oh God, man. I hate the world we live in. I truly do. Because then you have people that are like, oh, well, is like Trump going to be in with the Obamas now? I want to understand this. Even though people hate each other, it does show something where like maybe we don't like each other, but we can still be professional. Like, you can be professional. It's someone's funeral.
And they usually are, like, with most transitions, like transitioning into whatever the next presidency is. They're like, hey, we all still kind of get along. But, then when it comes to whatever, I don't know, things they're trying to pass when they're out there trying to pass their bills and their laws and whatever, that's when they get all heated against each other. Fine. Yeah, and then, afterwards it's like, all right, hey man, good show or whatever.
Mm-hmm. There was a time period where the elites at least pretended like the game wasn't entirely rigged, and they used to pretend like they actually liked each other. And that was a time where things were a lot happier than they are now.
Even Bill Maher calls out liberals now, and he's still himself a liberal. He just doesn't like the new people that are in it that are kind of like taking away from what it meant being a liberal before. But
my problem with Bill Maher is that I'm not upset that he's calling out liberals. My thing is like, well, Bill, like, you helped bring out this new crop of liberals that we're dealing with today. Like, you partially created these people over the last 15, 20 years. So you played a big hand where we're at now. And here, don't try to pretend like, oh no, these people went crazy. I don't know where they came from. It's like, really? They weren't listening to your show for the last 20 years.
It's like if you went and fucking cheated on your girlfriend and she went crazy. I don't know why she's like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Holy crap. But this is Joe Biden.
I only sent her like 3 videos directly to her. I don't know what she's freaking out about.
Yeah, she changed, man. I don't know what happened. It's like, really?
Oh God. And this is Joe Biden saying he would have beaten Trump, even though that's literally was never going to happen. People
No,
found
not
out.
only did he say that he was going to beat Trump, but he also said that Kamala would have beaten Trump, even though Kamala literally just lost the
In
Trump.
the most embarrassing fashion ever for a presidential election. And people think he's a nice guy. No, this is a terrible guy. This guy's terrible. The fact that anyone calls him nice that's disrespectful to actual nice.
This child sniffing dementia patient over here is like, no.
His daughter literally said that she had to take showers when he wasn't there because he would look at her naked.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a nice person, okay?
Become your successor.
I don't think so. I think I would have beaten Trump, could have beaten Trump, and I think that Kamala could have beaten Trump, would have beaten Trump. It wasn't about.
Even though she literally lost.
I thought.
Are you living in reality? Like
she could have won if she just didn't lose. I mean, come on.
If she would have gotten more votes and won 2 more states, she could have beat him.
If Kamala Harris had win against Trump in the presidential election, she could have won too. And it's a shame that we didn't get to see that. It's just
it's also
it'd be like crazy. Playing like baseball and you lost by 3. It's like if we only had 4 more points, guys, we would have won. You understand that, right? Just 4 more.
If more people would have voted for her and less people would have voted for Trump, she would have won. Yeah, of course she would have. Yeah.
Put it to you this way: you were so far behind a touchdown when it held.
Like, God. Like it's one of those things where like after she lost the election, he started talking normal again. I don't know if that was a bit he was doing for the last 4 years, but notice like this, he's so retarded and crazy, but he's talking like he has some sense.
This is gonna sound a little morbid, but we all know he's gone in like 9 days, right? He's almost out of here. I do wonder how much longer he's gonna live after he's officially out, because you have to think like
I thought the same thing yesterday. Yep.
Yeah. How many, like for the last 4 years, how much drugs have they pumped into this man to make it seem, at least to gaslight everyone into thinking that, oh no, he's totally normal and sharp. And now that they don't have to do that anymore, like I really wonder like how much longer he's gonna last after he's out of office here. I feel like probably not that much long.
I thought it was important to unify the party. And when the party was worried about whether or not I was going to be able to move, I thought even though I thought I could win again, I thought it was better to unify the party. And it was the greatest honor in my life to be president of the United States, but I didn't want to be one who caused a party that wasn't unified to lose an election.
That and Nancy
we lost it anyway.
Before. Yeah, Nancy called me the night before and said I shouldn't do it. So I said, "Okay, Nancy, I'll listen to you."
It's like my handlers told me that I wasn't going to win, so I decided to step out. Then we fucking lost anyway. So it was like I might as well just won if we were going to lose.
I'm just saying, he went on a debate and he performed so unbelievably bad. Everyone just straight up panicked and put her in. Yeah. So he wasn't going to win.
You know what? I'm actually glad that color woman ran instead of me, because now I'm still undefeated against Trump. So he's sucking.
Hey, fun fact: Trump's only ever beaten women in his presidential election.
That's right. I'm the only guy who beat Trump. That's right.
Allegedly, he beat Trump.
I'm scratching Joe. I can do it.
He's going. He can go out on the the pedestal of like, Trump can only beat women. He can never beat a man.
No. Oh God. Hey, give Trump a third term. Have him put up against AOC. He beat 3 women in a row. Come on, give it to me. Give it to me.
They got to be scraping the barrel if they're going to put AOC. There's no way AOC.
Imagine this: if it's Candace Owens and AOC for the presidential election. Oh, God.
That would be the end of America. Like that would be like, okay, the rapture's coming soon. The Antichrist is going to rise and take over.
I'm never voting. I'll actually vote Democrat. I'll never vote for a black woman in anything. I'd rather hang myself.
You don't like Candace?
If she's black. If it's Candace versus AOC, it'd be like that Tucker Carlson meme. Like it's never been more over than it is right now.
I'm kidding. I would vote for Candace Owens, but it was like, man, are we scraping? Like, what is going on here in life?
I will literally write in the ghost of Ross Perot before I vote for Candace Owens or AOC.
Why are we voting in a Shaniqua to our fucking White House? Are we kidding?
Hey, this is Candace. I'd go down on that and stay there all day. Holy moly. I think
why do you guys love black Cyfax loves black women? You love black. Good, you guys.
Holy crikey.
I like women in general, man. I don't care. Like as long as they're
if they look like Rihanna, you'd be like more into them, right?
I mean, if you're going to sit there and put those two against each other, yeah.
No, I'll take Candace all day long over Rihanna. Absolutely.
I will give her credit.
If it was between Candace Owens and a troon, then I guess you have to make some difficult decisions at that point. But I mean,
I will give her this. She did. I remember she was talking to Nick Cannon about trans people, and she absolutely just destroyed him. Oh God! Like I'm joking, but she's actually a pretty intelligent person. I don't know how she would be with the Jewish community though. That would be because she's having some problems with the Jewish people right now. I don't know if they would vote for her in an election. I think that they would just vote for the other parties because they hate her so much. I hope. But
I'm sorry, neither of those two, like AOC or Candace, they're not even getting past the primaries. They're just not.
Biden's legacy: 4 years of sadness, fear, anger, and depression, living under an administration of corruption, mendacity, and moral turpitude. So glad he was thrown under the bus in the most ignominious fashion. For half a century, he was a pompous, do-nothing political hack. Good riddance. Good Lord.
All right.
Joe Biden, put the... Oh, God. Joe Biden will be in 3 states today. Unconscious, semi-conscious. Dementia, the thing. Oh my God, what is wrong? Democrats open their mouths and lies come out. He knows better. Oh, jeez. Oh, God, man. The most corrupt, dishonest, uninformed, divisive, incompetent, pathetic excuse for a president in human history.
Okay, all right. Let's quit making fun of the handicap. Let's move on. Let's go.
My work here is done.
Let's stop bullying the elderly.
Yeah, exactly. Come on now.
It's also Joe Biden, the same guy that took away, remember Easter and made it a national trans awareness day,
visibility day. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
remember that one?
This is Mr. Catholic, Joe Biden over there. Yeah, good job there.
They sit there and they wonder why they lost. Like they just can't do any self-reflection and be like, wow, I thought we were doing just all the good things. Like, no, man.
When you're constantly gaslighting each other from the truth, then yeah, you do have to wonder, how do we possibly lose? It's like they're the racists. How do we lose to the racists?
Hey,
it's like
maybe the tides are turning. I didn't see this earlier. Benny Johnson put this out. Breaking: the chair of the Los Angeles County Board has called on Trump to visit the fire-ravaged areas in a personal letter. Maybe they might listen to him about how to fix problems after he said the problems and they chose
wait
to
a second.
ignore it.
Why is he asking Trump to go there? Trump's not in office.
Yeah.
Yet.
Well, why don't they get the sitting guy? Well, I mean,
get the sitting guy to go out there.
Yeah. Does he even know where he's at currently? Will he know if he's in California?
Can you imagine it's like Joe Biden with his dementia brain just walked into a fire thinking it was a pretty light?
Well, then they have that fire chief saying, well, he shouldn't have been there, so I can't rescue him.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Be like, oh man, this city looks great, man. Everything looks fine. Like, sir, you're on a beach in Hawaii.
Honolulu was the other city that burned when you were president.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yes.
He thinks he's in California. He's really in Florida.
Keep in mind, Hawaii was on fire. What's this place being on fire? Hawaii was on fire not too long ago. We're on fire. Australia was on fire some years ago. What the hell's going on?
There seems to be a theme of fire all around the world. It's almost
maybe God's telling us something. Maybe.
Yeah, right. Like maybe if you guys don't shape up, this is exactly
biblical.
where you're heading.
Like North Carolina, Florida,
but remember, Biden is still giving money to Ukraine and Africa, and was it Ghana? No, who was in Ghana the other day?
Those ones are always funny. Oh, the mayor of California was out there. Yeah, those ones are always funny though. It's like, oh, quick, everything's on fire in California. Send 300 billion more to Ukraine.
Exactly. What the hell is that all about?
Like, oh, Jesus, dude.
It's just a world we live in now where our governor is this retarded. There's no one worse than that guy. Maybe the Boston mayor, where it came out 2022, Christmas. They sent out this letter for a Christmas party, and she literally said, no white people there. I'm not kidding. It's an actual story.
While her husband
white, white people. While her husband was white, and she had 3 kids by him. And 3 kids. 3 kids.
Well, remember, you had the Chicago mayor up until when she
God,
left. She was probably the worst of the worst.
Oh yeah,
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice. The guy in New York is pretty bad. I mean, I keep that in mind.
The mayor of Chicago, the black mayor of Chicago is retarded. There's nothing worse than that guy. That guy is remember all those teenagers were like just basically just purging Chicago. He's like, they're just, expressing their right to
It's amazing. It's amazing how these deep blue cities, they hire the absolute worst person imaginable for the job, and then they want to recall this person, they get rid of them, and then they end up electing someone who's even worse than the last person. It's like they don't ever improve.
Like these fucking teenagers are literally beating people, robbing, breaking windows. He's like, they're not doing anything that bad. I hate people. That makes me lose faith in humanity. Like, what is going on here?
And if you're gonna elect Democrats too, like, there has to be a decent one out there. Like, I refuse to believe that all of them are fucking terrible, but it's like, how do you just keep finding worse and worse ones? There has to be reasonable people out there. There just has to be. But it's like you just find the most unreasonable, unhinged people who just bought into the bullshit that is out there, and it's like, well, now you kind of only got to lean. The only people to look at, I guess, is now the Republicans. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of bad ones of them too. But whatever, man. They just make all these terrible decisions back to back.
One Buck, what's up? How you doing, buddy? Oh God! Or the New York mayor when she said basically that black kids are retarded for not knowing how to use a computer. Like, God, this is.
that video of that
not too long ago.
Yeah. Dude, that video of that kid, like he plays that video and then it cuts to the kid and he's walking around with a gorilla and he's just slapping at the laptop. Oh man.
Just barking at it.
Fucking, yeah.
Man, this is it'll be sad if this wasn't in real life. That's all I can say, We basically live the equivalent of like a Workaholics TV show right now.
Dude, right? Yeah, exactly.
You often wonder, and I heard this on the radio yesterday, somebody talking about, I forgot who it was, but they said, in 150, 200 years from now, when none of us who are experiencing all this are alive, how are the history books going to portray it? This, the elections, the fires,
Could you imagine all those textbooks in public school? Trump, this racist, bigoted fascist, won the election over the proud, great Democrats. Like, I know that's what they're going to say. They're going to lie out their ass. That's what's going to happen. Lies.
I mean, you're saying
you can only imagine
language,
what the.
You're going to have to read it in Chinese for one. But
I mean, you talk about you can only imagine what the textbooks are going to say about, U.S. history in the next 10, 20 years.
The insurrection was the worst thing since 9/11. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. I saw the funniest post. This girl was like, I've had more violent sex than what happened on January 6th. It's like, God damn.
Oh, God.
I had a guy tell me that they literally tried to kill Mike Pence on January 6th. Like, literally, they tried to kill him. Like they dragged him out into the streets and he only barely escaped with his life.
That's how you know.
What planet are you guys even living on anymore?
AOC sitting there all scared, but she's like 7 blocks away. And
she got raped or whatever. It's like, what are you talking about?
I was almost attacked. Like, you're on like the 7th story somewhere. No one even knows where you're at.
Yeah, she's in the equivalent of like looking at New York from New Jersey, talking about her life is in danger.
Yeah,
she was like talking like she got raped or whatever as a story, but they're like, do you have any evidence? She doesn't even answer the question. She's like, oh, but like toxic men. It's like,
because we all know the insurrection was led by a guy in a Speedo and Fred Flintstone horns.
Yeah,
and he's the one that got everybody to do everything. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I still like how they still use the red roped off barricades to walk in and out of the lines like idiots. But yeah, they're so violent. Like, they're like, hold on, we'll get to the thrashing. We just got to get through the line first.
Yeah,
like they murdered police officers. They tried to overthrow the government. Mike Pence died.
Like, excuse me, sir, do you got a ticket for the insurrection? We take those at the ticket kiosk, and then you can come in.
Excuse me, sir, you know where the bathroom is?
Yeah.
You got to punch your card.
Zuckerberg says most companies need more masculine energy and have been neutered by feminine energy. It's so ironic coming from this
years.
Guy.
Yeah. So did he get like a program update or a software update, and now all of a sudden he's trying to pretend like that he's the good guy? Like, I've been with you guys this whole time.
finally hitting him in the bank account, even though he doesn't need it. But whatever.
It's so weird. These statements are coming out of him. I feel like I'm looking at a totally different person here because I've seen this guy almost before he started Facebook. I remember when Facebook popped up, became super rich, and Instagram. I was like, this guy's been pretty much on their side almost the entire time. Like, this is a guy that people are gonna be like, but he changed, and you should believe he can change. I do want to believe people can change, not this fast.
Is the fact that all of these companies years ago thought that they were going to bury Trump. Trump was never going to come back around, and that they were going to get away with it. Now Trump is back, and they're trying to be like, well, you know, when I was doing those things 4 years ago, that wasn't my call. I protested against it, but it was out of my hands. Like him and Jack Dorsey now all of a sudden trying to be like, well, you know, I was against the law of the censorship that I was
Facebook banned Trump.
For.
Facebook banned Trump. His Facebook fan page, you know, they have those fan pages. They banned them, all of them. But
they sit there. They're celebrating like his conviction bullshit that went on, and I'm sitting here like, because they're just like, oh God, see, look how bad he is, and I'm like, dude, if he didn't run again this year or for this election, none of this would have happened. Like they would have never have gone after him. The only reason they went after him is because he fucking did this.
You know what is?
None of that would have happened.
Like, you know what it's the equivalent of? It's the equivalent of like you conspired against someone so that they would go to jail, and now they got out on parole earlier than expected. So now you try to sit there and pretend like you had nothing to do with them going away in the first place.
When he had his conviction earlier last year, all Hillary Clinton was celebrating it. She was like, you know, that illegitimate president that I didn't beat, he doesn't deserve. Like, what in the world? And I'll understand like how all these felonies and convictions make no sense. What person in your life do you know has? How many convictions do they say he has? Like 70, 60, whatever. Doesn't matter.
34.
30? How many people in your life have like 30 felony convictions and are walking on the streets? Like actually outside right now? That's how you know
they had to bump it up from like misdemeanors into that. Just to, and they did it like completely illegitimate. Like they passed some bullshit like the year before, and then they had to extend the what's it called? The statute of limitations on it. They had to extend that on it. And by pulling up all these bullshit dates, like, well, he wasn't here then. And then they added it all up and they're like, see, we can still get him on it. And it was like the most bullshit thing. And then all the companies behind him were just like, yeah, he paid it all off and he was good on his word on all this. And they're like, no, we don't like him. So fuck him. It's like, and then they tried to, what was it? They tried to say Mar-a-Lago is only worth like 18 million, but then you look at all the houses around him that are worth like, 70, 80 million, and they're all like the size of like his tennis court.
And then I want people to also understand if all of these felony convictions were as serious as they're supposed to be or believable as we're supposed to believe from them, right? Why did they put him in jail before he was running? Keep in mind, he wasn't president for 4 years. They could have just put him in jail. They didn't because I'm be honest here, most of it just sounds like it's made up. Like they paid off people to just make up some bullshit. What person do you know has 30 felonies and is not in jail? Really? Come on, let's be real.
There's a lot of people in California who fit that bill.
Yeah. We live in hell. That's different. That's hell adjacent.
I had a debate with somebody on Facebook when the trials were going on about what was the actual charges, which no one can figure out. And who's that one attorney who's on the left, and he hates Trump. He even wrote a book against Trump. He's always on the talk shows. An older guy. He's a Harvard or Yale professor as well. White guy, a Jewish guy. I can't think of his name, but anyway, he is not a fan of Trump. But he was saying there's no case here. There's no whatever. There's nothing's been presented. And so I showed the clip of him saying that to this guy I was debating with. He goes, he doesn't know what he's talking about. What kind of lawyer is he? Only one of the biggest ones in the United States is all. That's he probably knows more law than you ever will.
Hates the guy, like
I mean, you can't reason with somebody on the left usually.
No,
they have no common sense.
Yeah, reason and accountability is out the window for them.
Even Judge Judy was saying this makes no sense. I saw a clip of her saying that, and she's no fan of Trump either.
Oh yeah, I like her. I
love Judge Judy.
I liked her and Judge Mathis. Those are my favorite judges to watch on TV. Judge Judy, she's a pretty straightforward person. I enjoyed watching her stuff. She's a fan of Trump, but like she said something on her show, on her judge show that I always remember in my life. If it doesn't make sense, it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
all and that rape conviction he had, he never went to. First of all, it was never a civil actual. It was never a trial, right? It never got past like a, I forgot what it was called, but it never went as far as people made it out to be.
Preliminary, whatever.
Yeah. Plus that lady that was apparently raped by him.
Oh, geez.
I don't know if you want to be believing her. She sounds like,
and it was at like a freaking Macy's or some bullshit, like some random.
Well,
she's the one
that
that
left. And the left ever since Me Too has been really strong on this, where if anybody alleges you did anything against them without any shred of evidence to support it whatsoever, the allegation is basically the conviction. So if anyone alleges that you did anything about you, like, you're guilty and you need to be removed from society based on the allegations. Now, if the facts come out and the trial comes out after the fact and proves you were actually innocent, they're still not going to forgive you because they still hate you based on the allegation. It's not like they're going to be like, okay, I guess we were wrong here. Like, that's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So they were pissed at Johnny Depp when he won, because they say that's the defamation cases are some of the hardest cases to win. And
they are. Yeah.
So they were like, that's the biggest thing going against him, is it's super hard to win one of those. And then he wins because, I mean, just watching Amber Heard up there was just embarrassing.
I liked her in Aquaman. I thought she was hot in Aquaman.
I thought she was. No, I don't think she's ugly,
but she's fucking insane.
It's crazy. People, that's what I hate when guys do that sometimes. They're like, "Oh, well, she's a bad person. That makes her like she's not ugly. Like, you would sleep with her. I would if I had a chance. I wouldn't.
I don't know if you want someone to drop a big black log on your bed. It's like you probably should go to a doctor to get that checked out, because I don't think your poop's supposed to be black. Like your soul.
Shit, succubus or something.
Like this lady got like internal bleeding.
It's the wine shits, man.
Good Lord, man. I mean, there's another area you can clean her out in. You don't have to clean out her butthole. That shit's definitely not clean.
No, she did that herself.
Yeah. Hey, look, if you want to take the chance of dealing with those gaping wounds from the troons, that's all you. But I'll say that absolutely no on my end.
Apparently, Gavin Newsom wants to clear up the misinformation. Their favorite buzzword, misinformation. A lot of misinformation out there. Yeah, misinformation when you get caught. Just launched a new site.
Literally tried to catch him escaping like a Scooby-Doo cartoon. It's like, okay, now I have to get out some misinformation.
Oh, God. A lot of misinformation out there. Oh, yeah, I bet. Just launched a new site to ensure the public has access to fact-based data around the
Who are you going to believe, me or your own lying eyes?
That's not communist at all.
Don't look at anyone else, but just believe me.
Only believe the Ministry of Truth.
Alan Dershowitz. That's who that lawyer was. Alan Dershowitz. I'm sorry. Okay, go on.
First of all, I just need to let you guys know I did not try to flee from a scene. I did not take a phone call with Joe Biden. That's the top priority list of that.
That video was AI. The video was AI.
Oh, remember the mom? Remember the mom that confronted him with all the facts, and he just looked at her like she was crazy? Remember that one? Oh, crazy. The truth, guys. This is the truth now. It's coming from his mouth. You have to believe him. The truth. California did not cut our firefighting budget. That's just a lie. It's literally a lie. You can literally look it up and find the papers where it literally said they cut them. This guy's a fucking liar. I'm done. I can't
There's
do it.
documents to prove otherwise.
There's that fire chief. There's that other fire chief, and she happens to be a woman, but she's sitting out there calling all this bullshit out too.
Lady.
No. This is the white woman. That she went out there and she was like, she was just because she doesn't want to get thrown under the bus alone. She's sitting there like, nah, all this happened because of this, that, and whatever. And she's one of the heads of the fire departments there. She's calling all this shit out too.
How do you take someone serious like this? First of all, I know he typed this himself. He's not that retarded. He says the truth and then lies right there in his first sentence. That's crazy. That's wild. We have nearly doubled the size of our firefighting army. That's also a lie. That's literally a lie. Oh, shit. Kill me. Two lies.
Hey,
all right.
Let that guy be your governor. You may just die.
This is two lies. And built the world's largest aerial firefighting fleet. Just not true. That's not true because Mexico
has in other words,
10 firefighters in to help the fire.
You realize that in order to in order to buy into this lie that he's telling, if this is actually true, then what he's saying is that we have the largest, most incompetent aerial fighter fleet in California history, because you guys aren't doing a very good job at the moment.
We bought a bunch of planes to do this, just nobody can fucking fly them. Like
you do realize that it actually makes you look better just to say that we simply don't have the manpower, rather than saying, no, we totally have the manpower, we're just not good.
Yeah. So Mexico's sending us firefighters, but you nearly doubled your firefighting army. Are you just full of shit? You're just a fucking loser. Yeah, he didn't cut the budget. They never had one. Yeah, I can't cut the budget if you never have one. That's true. California has
doubling zero is still zero.
California has increased forest management. It's just not true. That's another lie. Another lie. If the forests were under control, why do so many fires keep starting?
Climate change.
Oh yeah, you're
climate
right.
change. Yeah,
damn climate change. How can I forget about that? California will
The
not
sticks are
allow
out there
for
rubbing
looting.
themselves together and lighting themselves on fire now. Like they've
Another
become
lie.
sentient.
This is recent. California will not allow for looting. Yes, you did. You allowed the $900 under limit prop to pass. You were allowing legal looting.
Yeah, there's not like, I don't know, hundreds of videos of it or anything. But
Well, was there any truth in any of this? That was like what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Like,
but guys, if you listen to AOC, they're only out there taking food like from Nike stores.
They're not taking iPhone.
Where you normally get your food, like, Nike and iPhone, the biggest grocery shops out there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, AOC, that's what Democrats think. They're like, yeah, if you just let them loot, they'll only take food. Why are they taking iPhones? Oh, they have to call their family.
Why are they taking iPhones? Don't worry about it.
They got to go steal the iPhone to figure out where the grocery store's at.
Yeah, they got to call their loved ones to see what they want from the grocery store they're stealing from. Yeah.
Oh, God. CaliforniaFireFacts.com. Get the facts, guys. Mm-hmm. Oh, God. When you don't want to acknowledge the problem, call it misinformation. Oh, yeah, true. Thank you for speaking facts, Mr. Governor. MAGA is jealous of you.
Yeah, we are.
Man, I'm so jealous of all the ash on my car right now. It's great.
Oh, God, man. Your fire chief begs to differ about firefighting.
Yeah.
budget.
Oh, yeah. She's the one. She's the one that does like. She's like, I'm not going down alone. Basically.
Run. Oh, God. Okay. For fact's sake, there was no 17 million cut to the Los Angeles Fire Department budget this year. In fact, there was 50 million increase in the Los Angeles Fire Department, called hard facts, full stop, period. To those who spread misinformation, then the community checked it. The city's fire department budget for the fiscal year was cut by more than 175 million.
No, 17.5. Because he only said 17 million, and they were like, actually, correction, it was cut by 17.5.
Oh,
so
God.
yeah, you're still wrong.
Free speech is dangerous unless liberals control it. Oh, gosh. Oh, God.
That's not true. He's not sitting there watching everything burn. He's driving around watching everything burn. Let's be fair here.
Because he's talking to Biden on his phone. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's eating birthday cake while the city burns.
What a terrible fucking Newsom, you're the embodiment of misinformation. Okay. All right. What about those? Oh, the insurance companies. They took off everyone's insurance because they didn't want to pay out all the insurance money to.
Yeah.
Is that true? I heard about that. Like 2 years ago, they took off the fire insurance. Is that true?
They did that. So it was a couple of years ago. They made it harder for people who were in like at-risk areas to even get it. But then a couple of months before this hit, they canceled. I want to say it was like 70% of the policies.
Holy shit!
Like just a couple months ago, and then I believe it was State Farm was the main one that canceled like a lot of them. And now there've been a lot of insurance companies are trying to leave the state because all the regulations and everything is making insurance out here crazy. Mm-hmm. It's just ridiculous.
The same way in Florida.
basically the insurance companies don't want to lose a massive amount of money and go out of business. And then as a result of that, they leave the state. Then as a result of that, they try to blame the insurance companies for not losing to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like if your biggest policies are in disaster areas, but then you move to a place with no disaster, who the fuck needs your insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Hey, you need that insurance money to rebuild your life? Yeah, sorry. We ran out. We're sorry.
You know, we won't know this for a couple of years, but I wonder how many of these big wig movie stars or whatever are gonna just leave California and go to like Montana or something. Because
I mean, dude, most insurances,
Texas
most insurance seems to be a giant fucking scam anyways. Like even car insurance, like I did the math on it. I had a problem with one of my cars a few years ago. Like somebody's bumper fell off in the middle of the rain at night and I hit it and it did about 5,000 damage to my car. And then I only had to pay 500 out of pocket, but the guy told me it was about $5,000 of damage. And then my insurance rates were going to go up and all this shit. And I was like, I did the math on it. And I'm like, up to this point, I've paid probably close to 50,000 or more. And if I just had that extra 50,000, I could have paid the 5,000 out of pocket and still been 45,000 up right now. And I'd be just fine. Wouldn't need it at all. Never would have needed. I don't need this shit, but
insurance
whatever.
Is trash. I don't know how it ever became this big of a scam, but like flood insurance, it's just so many. Oh, goodness Lord. You know,
but if I understand right, you can't get your car license plates unless you have proof of insurability.
Yeah, you can't get it. You can't get your sticker and all that stuff.
It's not proof of insurance; it's proof of insurability. So if you had $1 gazillion sitting in the bank, you can say, "Hey, I have my proof of insurability. I can cover the basics this way." And the way I understand it, yeah, you can use that instead, but not too many people will do that. Or,
well, I mean, if I would have known that and just saved all that money, sure, I guess I could have done that. But
yep.
Then again, out here in California, people are driving around $80,000, $150,000 cars. If you hit one of those, yeah, you're screwed.
Yep.
Man, they're just making it impossible to even live. Like all these, health insurance, which is complete trash here. Actual insurance you need in your car. Booze. I was like booze. So you need booze to drink away your sorrows of living. Bills.
Cheers.
God, what doesn't cost money that just bends you over and fists you?
I don't know. Ask your boyfriend, dude.
Well, I have a wife and she blows me every night.
Oh, jeez.
Religiously, unexpectedly, when I'm sleeping. Oh, good Lord. Drama alert. Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, you and your wife have sex in that imaginary bed that you all consume as well.
I have a bed. Good Lord. Mark Zuckerberg removes troon and non-binary themes from Meta's Messenger.
Decepticon flags have been removed from Facebook.
Gosh. Why target LGBTQ? What are these questions?
Never trust anyone. Woman in disguise or something, or men in disguise, something like
what
that.
What is a woman?
Somebody made a funny
one with that. Apparently, these are women.
Christ. Oh,
you know what's the distinction here? All white men. They're all white people. Crazy white men.
All white men who apparently have a bad relationship with God, as you can see from that photo right there.
And their dad.
And so to be clear here too.
How does this pass up as a woman?
This one right here doesn't. It's like
what
ugly fat white dudes who are just like, I'm gonna put on a wig and now I'm hot.
Like this one isn't even. These somebody aren't even trying to even like. Come on, man. Really?
Thanks, Reagan. Thanks for shutting down all the wacko baskets. Because now this is what we have to deal with.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez, these are women.
Dude, why are we watching this? Don't.
Yeah, I don't think we.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
That.
Yeah,
that was an accident. But don't worry, guys. Get Blue Sky. Get the new Democrat Twitter.
Go to get the Rainbow People pedophile.
Do you guys, when you fill out applications or do stuff, when I ask you for your pronouns, do you put them on there at all?
Fuck no.
No.
Is it? I don't know about you guys. I'm single, and so occasionally I'll go on dating sites, and if they have to say that it's if the person I'm looking at has to say it's she's a she or a her, swipe left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you got to tell me you're a she or a her, I don't want.
There's a lot of red flags.
They got
when it comes to that.
Yeah, the dating out here in California. Well, I mean, it's hard, but it's really easy to figure out who not to date. It's real fucking simple. Like, you just look at their profile and they're like, I'm all about LGBTQ rights, blah blah blah, she, her, and you're just like, skip. Like, I'm not dealing with your shit. I'm not doing it.
If they have hair color that's not blonde or brown, that's another red flag.
Yeah, like the fucking bull nose piercing, the septum.
That is just dumb. I don't know. MSK, those are kids your age that do that. What the heck's up with that?
Any visual tattoo?
No, like I'll randomly download Tinder, the app, just once in a while when I get a little bored. And if any girl has pronouns, it's an instant nope. I'm good. That is a fucking red flag if I've seen one. Why are you telling me if you're a girl? Your picture should show that. This is just so stupid. If you have that little brain capacity,
you have the choice when you make your thing too. It's like, what do you prefer, men, women, or other, or whatever? And then you check women. So the ones I'm seeing should already be fucking women.
No, like that's already a problem too. Men, women, and other. What is other? I don't know what other is. There's only 2 of them.
Well,
what are you interested in?
I haven't made a profile on one of those in forever. It probably gets even more specific now. And I'm like, I don't even want to deal with that. Like, if I got to scroll down, like, it's like, when you're choosing your birth date on there, and that's how many different freaking genders there are, that's not a site I want to be on.
All right.
I'll put on mine, my profile, because I do have an ad up somewhere. I don't even know which one it is. But I put 100% MAGA. If you don't like it, we're not a match. Leave me alone. Yeah. We kind of weeds them out really quick there. Yeah.
Oh, you're fine. So you guys like wrestling, Andrew, and Society. So Hulk Hogan was booed the recent Raw event. Not what I do to my wife when we're having sex. I just go raw on her.
Oh, jeez.
So Society's been.
You only get booed by her. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
That was a fucking terrible performance.
MSK just loves telling everyone his Gavin Newsom stories. Like all these things that didn't happen. He just loves telling us all this stuff.
Hey, those are the facts. You can look them up. There you go.
Are you Gavin Newsom's ghostwriter? Because you both just make up lies like it's nothing.
Oh God, but no. Why have you been going after these new Raw fans? You've been getting a lot of trouble, man. Why can't you just be like, have a normal week of not getting into trouble? How about that?
Well, if they weren't such emotional little pussies, I wouldn't have to like get them all riled up. But you just make one little point about Hulk Hogan and they just sit there and rage at your tweets for like an entire week, and they just won't go away. So Hulk Hogan, they were in Los Angeles, which, like I said, should have been the first red sign that something bad was going to happen here. I mean, LA in 2025, it isn't 1984 anymore, right? It's not Hulkamania. They brought out him and Jimmy Hart. He's waving the American flag. I'm pretty sure that alone probably upset half the people in attendance when he were waving the American flag in Los Angeles, and they booed him because, let's be honest, he supports Trump. He openly came out and support Trump. And for a lot of pro wrestling fans, they're still upset that about 20 years ago, a sex tape leaked where he said the N-word in regards to some guy that his daughter was dating at the time period. And because he said that, they're still upset to this very day. They're like, oh, he's a racist, and I want him to die. He's the worst person in the entire world. And it's like, he's tried apologizing, but it's not good enough. No, they want him to go on apology tours at black campuses all around the world and visit historical black colleges to explain to him what he did wrong. And it's like, we're so far past from that. Everyone else has pretty much gotten over it because it happened in like 2007. So at this point, no one really cares about what Hogan said, except for the small minority of wrestling fans who are still around today. And then you wonder why no one watches wrestling anymore, because these are the douchebags who pretty much take over the entire fan base. Who wants to be associated with these people? So he's a racist. Everyone hates him. They hate Vince McMahon. I had a wrestler named Chelsea Green come after me this morning because I defended a woman named Tessa Blanchard, who they were trying to cancel her based on an incident that happened allegedly 10 years ago in Japan, where she said the N-word to one of her black friends in the backstage locker room. Now, these two have already made up like several years ago, right? So whatever issue they had, like it was over a while ago, but they're still like, no, she doesn't deserve to be back in the locker room anymore because she's a racist and you shouldn't be defending racists and stuff like that. So it's like these people are delusional to the point where it's like once they deem you to be guilty of whatever you were alleged to have been doing, they want you gone, they want you removed. A lot of people want them dead. I've heard a lot of people saying that, oh yeah, I wish she did kill herself, because that was the whole point of what I posted in the first place. And then I even, apparently some dirt sheet wrote an article about what I wrote to her earlier today. So I'm apparently famous in the internet, in the interwebs. Of these people go to, you think to yourself, all this drama for pro wrestling, yes, this is how stupid it has actually gotten. And
dude, I gotta follow you. Are you on what's your handle on Twitter?
Society Movies. So
all right, I gotta follow you on that. All right, cool.
He doesn't follow me, so
there's a reason. There's a reason. Yeah, so this was the article that was written based on my exchange with her earlier today. So the one on the left here, that's Chelsea Green. I just refer to her as Dumb Bimbo. And then this is Tessa Blanchard, the girl that she hates, over here on the right. And
Chelsea Green has nice legs, though. She has fantastic legs.
Fair enough. She had posted something about positivity and whatnot about certain people need their ass beat. So I just replied to her, maybe the girl who drove Tessa Blanchard to suicidal thoughts out of pettiness and jealousy are the ones who need their ass beat. And then she replied to me somehow like earlier this morning saying that this is giving me the ick. Defending a racist bully is cool. Someone tell him LOL. And then, of course, I brought up the fact that there was a girl in wrestling named Hana Kimura who was in Japan who also killed herself due to people bullying her. And it's like, well, those people who were bullying her 4 years ago thought they were justified, and you guys are no better than those scumbags. And all of her fans basically replied with like, "Yes, Queen Slay," which I just thought like, okay, there's really like no point in responding to those people as far as that goes. But yeah, this is I was kind of surprised people actually like legitimately wrote an article about that. I did find that to be pretty funny. But yeah, so I've been making lots of friends in the pro wrestling specter in the last few days here, defending all the people who I'm not allowed to defend. I'm not allowed to defend Hulk Hogan for something that he did back in 2007, or Tessa Blanchard for something that she allegedly did in another country 9 years ago. So we're not allowed to do that, and I'm a bad person for doing so. So I'm gonna continue to do it.
I like what you have on your Twitter. Man who defended Hulk Hogan and Tessa Blanchard goes on a black man stream.
Yeah, exactly. Because I knew that was going to make people angry.
Yeah, it's crazy how
that is great.
Oh, Laps, check the Twitter DMs I sent you. I have to ask you something about Friday or Thursday when we review that comic, actually. But we're still going to do it. But yeah, man, continue. Sorry about that.
No, this is basically just where we are here, and I did me and the Barroom crew, we did a review of Raw on Netflix based on what we were allowed to show, because with WWE you can't show any of their footage on YouTube at all. They will nuke your stream immediately if you show a solid second of anything. Yeah, if you try to show anything from WWE, they will automatically copyright claim it and ban your video and block your stream worldwide. Like they're those type of people. But I'm just showing people I think for people who have not been around wrestling in a long time, like obviously there's people who grew up with it like in the 80s and in the 90s. They're still under this mindset that pro wrestling fans are like Southern rednecks from North Carolina and Texas. It's like that has not been the fan base in pro wrestling for quite some time. It was like that was what it was back in the 80s. And then you go over to the 90s, it kind of shifted towards like the 18 to 34, college bro demographic for a while. And then in the 2000s, a lot of people just left. Like a lot of people were done with it. I think the rise of MMA had a big part of that as well.
Yep, absolutely.
And now what you have with wrestling is that you have just a whole bunch of whiny liberals who both in the locker room and in the fan base, because pro wrestling has kind of migrated to three major cities. It's New York, it's Philadelphia, and it's Chicago. And as a result of that, all of that fan base and all the wrestlers that come with that fan base have kind of taken over. And people are looking at us like, wow, wrestling's not cool anymore. It's like, yeah, there's a reason, because the weirdo people have taken over, and they drive anyone who has any remote interest in pro wrestling away from pro wrestling. Like there was a girl, I guess you guys know Kat Dennings, the actress.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
Chick with a big tits.
Two broke girls.
Yeah.
She tried to show interest.
She was a short, fat one on Two Broke Girls. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. she tried to draw interest in WWE a few years ago, and the weirdo fan base literally drove her off of social media. That's how, because they started like harassing her with like, no, you need to go watch this match from Japan, and you need to go watch AEW, and it's like, guys, can you stop being weird for like 3 seconds of your miserable existence? And apparently, no, they can't. And here we are. So,
okay, dude, I wanted to even ask you this too. How many? Because I'm not into Raw unless it's going against my wife.
Oh, geez.
How many of these people are even like? Because this happens with League of Legends too. A lot of people aren't even watching the games or the matches. They're just following narratives. That's all they're doing. I don't think so many people are even fans of the sport. They're just fucking perpetually in love with drama and narratives.
Well, that's what it is.
Especially now.
It's a soap opera.
Yeah, and especially now, like a lot of people have just like kind of consumed themselves in this internet community. So they've created this community on the internet where they basically gaslight each other into all these narratives. And that's, I think, was the big portion of it. Because if you look at the actual viewership of wrestling now, I know they just moved to Netflix. We'll talk about that here in a second. But the average viewership for pro wrestling, especially WWE, like there's other organizations out there do far lower. But for WWE, over the last several years, it's really been somewhere between like 1.5 to 1.7 on average for weekly viewers. So it's not even a large group of people when you consider the United States of America and how many people are here. And that's the only group of people who are actually watching from week to week consistently. They just moved to Netflix, and the numbers that they've been releasing on Netflix are very, very skewed, to say the least, because on one hand, they'll say that, 2.6 million households watched the debut of Netflix. Well, households is not viewers. It's a completely different metric, so it doesn't tell you the exact viewers that watched it. And then they'll also turn around and tell you that, 4.9 million views globally occurred as well. Well, views is also not viewers. It just means that that's how many people viewed it around the entire world. And you're talking about a platform that has like 280 million people. So again, 5 million out of that whole, that's not even a huge chunk of change there. So they keep trying to, I guess, bury the real numbers because they don't want to come to the conclusion that wrestling isn't nearly as popular as people on the internet want you to believe. Because if you just ask a group of normies in the mainstream about wrestling, the only name they can tell you is, I remember Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and Ric Flair. And
I only know all these names from actors like John Cena, Dave Bautista, The Rock.
The only recent names you could probably give is, like I said, a John Cena. They'll know who John Cena is. Maybe they'll know who Dave Bautista is. That's pretty much it. But I mean,
I stopped watching
Hulk Hogan. I know who that is.
I stopped watching around like the Attitude Era. Like that's the last one I was watching, and so I know a bunch of the people from then because of all the SmackDown games and stuff. I was playing and watching it back then, but I couldn't tell you any of the new people other than some of the actors. But I know like the '90s ones basically, but that's about it. Well, like I watched the Undertaker one, the Undertaker podcast. I watched some of that. Those are interesting to watch. Get some of the behind the scenes stuff on it. That shit's interesting.
I think one of the reasons
new stuff.
One of the reasons the ratings have gone lower and lower is because, and I have nothing to back this up. Just my intuition here is because the younger folks are cutting the cord, and most wrestling has been on cable. And so if they can't get cable, they're not going to watch it. And hence the viewership goes down, which is one of the reasons that they went over to Netflix, is because more people have the streaming service than actual cable nowadays.
Well, here's the problem with that, because it's twofold. One, that has been the primary excuse people have used over the last 15 years is that, people are just cutting the cord. And that's the reason why viewership is down. And it's like, okay, why are they cutting the cord? That's the answer. That's the question nobody wants to answer. The answer is they're cutting the cord because on cable, the quality of television is just abysmal now. There's no point in paying that much extra money to watch anything because there's nothing on cable that's worth watching. So people like to talk about, they're just cutting the cord and that's why TV is changing. Like, no, you're not giving them any reason to keep cable. So that's why they're walking away. They just don't want to come to the conclusion that, hey, the reason why people are leaving cable is because your shows stink and you're not producing good content. So people are not going to pay for good content. They just want to say like, they're just cutting the cord. Same thing with wrestling. If that was the case here, this is the big thing with Netflix, we would have seen a dramatic increase in viewership based on what we saw last Monday, because now you're on the biggest streaming platform in the world. You have, like I said, 280 million people around the entire world have Netflix. So if all those people who had cut the cord and didn't watch because they had cable, they can now all watch it on Netflix for like between $15 to $23 a month, depending on which package that you get, somewhere around there.
The cheapest ad tier plan is over $10 now, I think. Yeah,
I would agree with you, except for one thing here, and if I could be wrong with this one, but I did not see Raw advertised anywhere for be on Netflix outside of the Raw and SmackDown shows.
I didn't see it
advertised anywhere.
Usually Netflix pays for YouTube ads for like their movies and shit like that. I didn't even see it. I still have ads on. I didn't even get Raw ads for YouTube.
No, because I cut the cable a few months ago, and I didn't see anything on cable anywhere saying any kind of messages.
That's the problem. You have to be in the wrestling bubble to even know what's happening in the world of wrestling, because outside of that, outside of Twitter, you're not going to know any of these people. You're not going to know what's going the ins and outs. And that's kind of what I say here. It's like the people in this bubble has created an echo chamber where, because they live and breathe wrestling, in their minds, it's just as popular with them as is with everyone else. And it's absolutely not. But they're too arrogant to see that reality, because they think to themselves, well, I talk about it all the time with my friends and I get a whole bunch of likes, so it has to be
talk about the level of anecdotal evidence that these people don't even have the self-awareness to understand. Just because you talk about a hobby with like 5 friends does not mean it's big. That's the little definition of anecdotal evidence. It's like the actual definition of it. But people at this age are just all they do is follow narratives. They don't even update their narrative. So if the narrative changed around what you said to her, it wouldn't matter. All they remember is just that, because they're just fucking stupid. They were raised by wolves, bears, or lions or some shit. Kids are stupid.
They're not bright. And it's so when it comes to the whole like Netflix thing, the very interesting thing is going to be how the viewership is going to look in the next few weeks. Because I think there was a lot of people who were very interested to see what Raw was going to look like on Netflix, where they didn't have to worry about censors. They didn't have to worry about, is it going to be commercial free? Are they going to drop the N-bomb or F-bomb, wherever the case may be, because it's Netflix, right? And they saw it, and it was basically the same format as it would have been if it was on cable. It's still edited. You can't say whatever you want. There's still commercials, even though it's Netflix, they still have commercials. So it's like, if you're watching and you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, this is basically the same format as cable, so it's not really that exciting. I want to see what the numbers are within like a month from now, or maybe 2 months from now, where now that everyone has seen what WWE is going to present to them on Netflix, and whether they're interested or not, are they actually going to come back and be consistent viewers, or is the viewership going to tank like a rock? That's what I want to see. And I already know on Netflix, it's already outside of the top 10 most watched shows. It was there for Monday and a little bit for Tuesday, and then it's been gone ever since. So,
well, Triple H and in the press conference addressed that. I don't know if you heard that or not. He said contractually they had to have so many commercials per hour contractually, and that.
Yeah, but because they still have massive sponsorship deals that they got from cable, so they can't just not do ads, because then they would lose out on the sponsorship money, which would be a big hit for the network. So they still have to have ads until they can find some new creative way to where they can have the sponsors without running the ads. They haven't figured that out yet, and they probably never will. So until then, that format's just not going to change, and it is what it is.
I think they'll be a little more edgy. I still think they'll stick with their PG rating. I don't think they'll go much into the R rating at all, even being on Netflix. So it's only time will tell. See what happens there.
And because when they did this 5 years ago, remember they were on Fox, and this is kind of where the money thing starts to be a question. They're on Fox. Fox gave them $1 billion for 5 years to be on broadcast television, and it was like they were expecting at the time period anywhere between 3.5 to 4 million viewers. The first episode they hit about 4 million viewers. Like that was their debut episode on Fox, so they hit that projection. The very next week, they dropped down immediately to 3 million, and then their average bottomed out somewhere between like 2 to 2.3 million. And as a result of that, they lost money. So now you have Netflix, which is paying about 60% more than Fox was paying even though Fox was losing money with what they were paying them before. How are they going to make up the difference here? The only way I can see they making up the difference is that WWE brings in a whole ton of people who are going to buy Netflix for the sole purpose of watching WWE. But if that doesn't happen, I don't see how Netflix makes their money back on this, especially since they're paying them so much more than Fox was. I mean, if they're not bringing in new revenue, then it's like, what? How are you possibly making money on this deal?
I have to agree with you. I mean, I'm with you because I thought the same thing. So I didn't know what Netflix was different. I understand why they're different than cable, but why they would be different than broadcast television. That's what puzzled me. I didn't follow that one at all. Outside of that, it could be a little edgier. It can be going to more of the rated R versus the rated PG. Possibly, maybe that. But outside of that, I don't know what else it could have been. I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind, they advertised SmackDown when it was on Fox. They advertised it during the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
You can't get a bigger audience of people to advertise to
still the most
than the Super Bowl.
Television. The Super Bowl is still the most watched television event almost ever.
Yeah.
Still.
The NFL is still drawing like 20, 30 million people every single week. So it's like you can't get a bigger audience to advertise to than that.
The
you
meme
still
of
can't get people to watch.
The SpongeBob meme of Squidward in his house looking at Patrick and SpongeBob have fun outside. The NBA just watching the NFL just have all that viewership because the NBA's viewership has gone down too.
Oh, it's scraping the bottom of the barrels. NBA viewership, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, it's the cable thing because NBA, at least where I live, I don't get it on regular television. It's used to be on TBS and TNT, and I guess ESPN has it as well, which is cables. I don't have a cable anymore. I was never an NBA fan to begin with, so the viewership is going down because of the cord cutters. That's again my interpretation. I know society just said something differently, which I got to agree with you, but that's got to come into play. Same with NASCAR. I'm a huge NASCAR fan. They're going away from cable and going into the streaming services as well. And one of their lesser series, the Xfinity series, is now on the CW network, which is broadcast television. It's over there. You can get that with an antenna.
Yeah, because with the CW, if you don't remember, they got bought out by this company called Nexus Entertainment. And come to find out, all these like teen drama shows they were doing ever since they became the CW, because it was just Channel 5 essentially. Their actual audience, the actual age demographic is people between like ages 50 to 65, 40. Yeah. They're putting out all these like teen dramas, and they're like, "Why is no one watching our shows? Do you even know your own demographic?"
Apparently not. Yeah. And CW was never profitable either. So like that's why they sold. They sold for so cheap, or they were like in a ton of debt. So they basically got rid of it for like nothing.
See, I didn't know that. Okay,
and another aspect to your thing, people don't actually know this. The CW was a co-owned venture between basically Paramount, which is CBS, and Warner Brothers. So two companies holding a channel together couldn't make it a profitable, sustainable business since 2006. Guys, we are in 2025. Imagine not ever being profitable in 19
almost
years.
20 years. Yeah.
Oh no. But what they'll do is they'll keep sinking money into it. It's just an investment for the future, bro. It'll pay off eventually. It never did. Literally never did. That's why they have to sell.
I think what's happening, this is a big part of this too. We become so corporatized, and in this instance, it's like with all these multi-billion-dollar corporations that basically control the media, the Comcast, the Disneys, the Netflix, everyone that has publicly backed companies, and they have to deal with stockholders and shareholders and stuff like that. They have to keep gaslighting their stockholders that everything is fine and things are getting better, because if they don't, they lose money in their stock price, which means they lose value, which means that they're going to basically be in the mud if they don't do that. So all of these companies have essentially been gaslighting everyone for years that things are actually far better than what they've ever been, even though we can see just by the numbers alone, it's like you guys are losing your ass on a lot of these media companies. That's why a lot of these media outlets are losing money or going under altogether, because you guys are losing money, but you can't publicly admit that without losing even more money on your stock price. So we just have to keep pretending that everything's fine when it's not. And because everyone has been doing this for a while, we've created a bubble that is almost going to be as bad as the .com bubble when it actually does burst, and you realize that these things aren't nearly as popular as they think they are.
The streaming bubble you talk about, I mean, remember, streaming was supposed to be the place you go to not get ads. That's also another big problem with cable was the ad thing. People didn't like the ads. You went to streaming for no ads, and now they have add to your plans. That's how you know shit was already not looking good.
Now you have to pay more money just to not watch ads.
Because they knew how much money advertisers will give them just to advertise their products on their streaming services. Because they know this stuff is viewed by millions of people. So it makes sense for the advertisers to be there. Advertisers are only going to be on a place that they can get a lot of eyes on. That's the only reason why they sponsor you. If you don't have any eyes on your product, they don't give a fuck what you do at all. You know, that's why you never see an advertiser, you know, give a sponsorship to like people like our size. We just don't have enough viewers. We don't have enough eyes on our products. We just don't, you know. And then Tubi was able to just be like, hey, we're cable, but with ads. And then they just make a lot of money. I hate it. I hate it now. Well, Pluto TV too. Pluto also does it as well. But
speaking of Tubi, you guys ever heard of the guy called has a website called Mr. Skin? Have you heard of him? Yeah. Well, I listen to a radio program called the Lex and Terry Morning Show, and so he's on there once a week. And a few years ago, he did a documentary, or at least his part of a documentary about nudity in films throughout history. Ooh. And I guess it was on Netflix or something like that. And he made so much money on it. He said, he didn't say how much, he said he made a good profit. But after the contract was out with Netflix or Amazon, whatever it was on, it went over to Tubi. He says he's making so much more money now that it's on Tubi than it was on the other platforms. It's scary. He's making so much more money on it. Yeah. He said he couldn't believe it either, but he's making a lot of money on Tubi. Imagine that.
Tubi and Pluto have been some of the, especially Tubi's been really, really good. You can tell that a lot of the industry is really upset that Tubi has been killing it, even though it's a free app. Because here's the thing with Tubi. Tubi just plays a bunch of old movies. So that's really all it is. Old movies.
Crazy.
And old
People
TV
want
shows.
entertainment from back then to be what it is now.
And because the entertainment that's on Netflix and Prime, like all the new stuff that we're getting fed to us is all garbage. People are going back and be like, you know what? I'd rather watch this old Pam Anderson TV show that's on Tubi rather than watch the latest episode on Netflix about the rainbow community. And
that's because you're not interested in the new Royals show coming out with that one lady. You're not interested in that? Crazy.
I can't say that I am.
I don't even know what you're talking about. There you go. New Royal show. Oh. What's the old Royal show? I don't know
that. No, it's one. Okay, if I'm correct, I could be wrong. The lady who was married to the new Prince of England or whatever is divorced now, and she's gonna have her own
Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
They're divorced.
Alleged. It's gonna happen eventually, but Netflix is giving her own show. It's like
Meghan Markle and the
Prince Harry. Yeah,
they're getting a divorce. Really?
Something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
They've been on that's been bad for a while.
People wonder why Netflix, is. Good Lord. How many viewers do most of these have? Lists. Hold on. List of streaming services. Also, streaming service numbers are insanely disingenuous because when it comes to a streaming service, how many active people constantly watch that content? Because you know how like Disney Plus will have like 100 million people plus, right? How many of those people are actively watching that stuff constantly?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of stuff like Hulu and Disney Plus and stuff, you'll get a lot of them you'll get for free through your phone plans. That's why Disney Plus,
a lot of them have phone plan.
Like, look, we got 100,000 subscribers, but it's like 40 million of them are
phone plans. So how do you guys view that? Yeah. So let's say you have like AT&T, so you probably get Max for free. That doesn't make you a paying member of Max, though. Like you're paying the phone company, and then obviously it's a deal.
But they're paying Max.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know how I ever viewed that. It's weird. You're not actually a member of the website. You're a member through the phone
After a while, you just realize all these corporations just like shuffling money around to make it seem like they're making far more than they actually are.
There's no, yeah. Because that's the thing is you have a lot of these people are just on subscribers because they're phone plans. And then you have to have a phone, so you're going to be a member. But like, how many of these people are actually watching all this stuff? That's why the cable argument was always a weird one too. It's like, but there's 50 channels. You're never going to watch all that shit, ever.
You guys remember when they started like digital cable? I think it was in 2001 or 2002, where they came out with like, oh, you can now watch 1,000 channels now on cable, and everyone kind of marked out. It was like, oh my God, 1,000 channels. I'll never run out of things to watch. Then within like 3 years, everyone ran out of things to watch.
Like, I'm still watching my same 3 channels I had before. Like,
yeah. Because their argument of like more options is always better. It's like, no, more options aren't always better. Just makes it a lot more harder to, pick what to watch. That's the reason why a lot of people don't watch stuff on Netflix. Like, how much time do you scroll through Netflix looking for something to watch, and you're already 20 minutes wasted scrolling trying to watch something?
Mm-hmm. Dude, the Netflix content is so bad. I can only find myself like watching like Korean stuff, and even that it's like hit or miss.
Dude, South Korean shit's where it's at though, man. They got some good stuff over there.
Holy crap. So right here, Netflix still is in the lead with 282. They had $1 billion stock crash like a few years ago too. Disney Plus is they're all bundled, but Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN, they're all total together. Let's see, Amazon Prime with 205. You would think theirs would even be second because they have the free Prime membership thing. Because I had Prime too.
They got free Prime membership. How do you get free Prime membership?
Not free. It's only if you have Prime. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. The Prime membership where you get the free shipping. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. I would think just because you get the Prime membership that would entice people to get more subscribers, but apparently not.
I got an issue with ESPN Plus.
What happened?
Okay, a few weeks ago, I wanted to watch the college football playoffs, but everything was going to be on ESPN. So, I had to get ESPN since I don't have cable. So I went to the ESPN website and they said you can get ESPN Plus for such and such a month. I said, okay, I'll get it for 2 months and I'll quit. So I got ESPN Plus. Well, it's not on ESPN Plus. That's a whole different channel. What I looked at it was you have ESPN. And then you got Plus. No, you have ESPN and ESPN Plus. They're two different channels. I was like, okay, I can't be the only one who thought that way. There's no way. So I got ESPN Plus, and I wasn't getting any football. And I found out, I called the service. So what's going on? I said, what's on ESPN? I said, yeah, but I have just the Plus part. Well, there's two different channels. Oh, they don't call it ESPN Plus. It's ESPN, another channel. It's not Plus.
Yeah, ESPN and ESPN2.
Yeah. But in order to get ESPN Plus, once you get it, you have to tell them who your cable provider is so you can log on. I said, I don't have a cable provider. That's why I got it. I said, well, you need one or you can't watch it. Well, that's another thing they should have been told you before you bought it.
Good Lord, man. Even with this one, Max. Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Max at 80 million subs? I remember before it was 80 million. Did they lose 4 million subs? I remember they were at 80 million. I directly remember. Oh, Society, you're muted. I think you muted yourself.
It's who knows, because I know like they also add in like the Discovery Plus. I know Discovery Plus has been capped for like a while. Plus, they're driving up the price of that. Like Discovery Plus was a good deal because it was only $6 a month, and now I think it's like $10 a month now.
All of them went up in price. Apple TV used to be like what, $5? It's at like 15 now. Good Lord. YouTube Premium. Obviously, people have YouTube Premium for whatever reason, I guess.
The YouTube Premium is the one that makes the least amount of sense to me out of all these ones on here. Like, why are you paying for YouTube?
That's actually even worse than paying for Twitter. Why are you paying for YouTube? Oh, God. Paramount Plus, 72 million. Even though Paramount shouldn't even be in streaming, given how much money in debt they are, they needed a buyout to happen. Apple TV, 50 million. Who still has BET Plus? Remember when that was a thing? Is BET Plus still here?
Is BET even still a thing? They sold out years ago.
Oh no! BET Plus was under Paramount Plus. Just get rid of this BET originals. What does that even mean?
Didn't BET get sold off like in the last couple of years? I don't think they're part of the
right.
I don't think they're even under Paramount anymore.
BET, Craves for Canadians and they're dirty, so I don't talk about them.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll. 15
million. What the hell is Crunchyroll?
Crunchyroll's for anime.
Okay.
Stargate, Lionsgate. Oh, Lionsgate, a perpetual L company. Peacock.
Well, hey, Society, is WWE still going to have their pay-per-views or PLEs, whatever called, on Peacock now? Or are they going to?
Yeah, so because Peacock paid them $1 billion to have the exclusive rights for their pay-per-views and stuff like that. So they still have to finish out their deal with Peacock before they can move everything on Netflix. So real quick, I'll just play the video of this. I can't play the audio because it's Selena Yon's that Titanic song that she did a while back ago, but so just play that one in your head. Yeah. That's God, I hate you so much. I'll just play this video. There you go.
Oh shit!
Was that like that? Looked like the.
That's the mayor. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was the firefighter chick. Oh,
Across
jeez.
from there.
It's just an AI video of all these terrible fucking people.
Who's that?
Just a random.
Gay firefighter.
Gavin Newsom. AI is getting out of hand, man.
Why was he wearing a pink bikini sliding down a water slide? Oh my god! Oh my god! Jesus fucking Christ!
What the hell?
Keeps going to the smelt fish. Like
sacrificed everyone's homes to save some fish.
Their water bottle's $5.
Just drinking water. Lobster dinner while everything's burning behind him. Yeah.
No, not Barbara Streisand.
Sure.
Everyone's panicking. Everyone hates it here. No, can I say
everyone's running from the wrath of God.
The Hollywood sign didn't, burn, really, did it?
No.
Yet.
Not yet, right? No, if the Hollywood sign was legitimately on fire, like it would be like the #1 news story, like in the entire world.
Oh yeah,
it would save so many YouTubers so much time making those fucking little memes and shit with it. It's just like we got a real one now. Like,
how close is it to the Hollywood sign?
It was pretty close for a while there. There, like it was on a couple of hills that were pretty close to it. Like if the winds hit just right, I think the winds were actually pushing it in the opposite direction though.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's not going to get hit.
Well, we certainly had a great time tonight, laughing at Gavin Newsom being an absolute piece of literal shit. And I love making fun of that loser. Just God, if it's ever revealed that he was getting railed by trannies, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point.
You know? He may get reelected.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
He'll become president. What are you talking about, man?
Oh no! Imagine that guy running for just fucking being a Democrat. Sorry, running for president. He's all automatically Democrat.
Well, that was a lot of people's second choice when they were like, okay, if it wasn't Kamala, who would it be? And people were like, oh, it'd probably be Gavin Newsom.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
I
was like, please,
the default
please,
guy.
that would be so fucking funny to watch him just get destroyed in a debate from Trump. Trump
Imagine him losing. I don't think there's a human being on, like, because I know she lost in embarrassing fashion. I couldn't imagine a world he doesn't lose in the exact same one, or maybe even worse.
It would have been worse.
Just imagine this. Imagine that guy talking to you about fixing the economy when California is just like in billions and billions of dollars in debt. That guy's gonna fix the economy. Oh crap! Holy shit!
That was like there's so many people who are like, oh god, we didn't get Kamala, and it's like, dude, she ended her campaign with 20 million in debt after dropping $1 billion, like $1.3 billion or something, and it's like she was still needed a $20 million buyout to help her. It's like, yeah, she did real good with her money, and she only did it for what, 100-something days. She spent over $1 billion in 100 days.
She's $20 million in debt, and remember the email that came out to their team asking for people to donate. It's like, you're asking for donations. You got billions of dollars.
Lost. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have to bail you out of debt. I can't bail you out of $2,000, $20 million of debt. I'll give you like a high five if you get out of debt. How do you bail someone out of $20 million in debt? You don't. You literally just screwed for life. You can't, I don't know, get a house or whatever. You're done. So
could have had Oprah help her.
Yeah, didn't they give like Oprah like $2 million to do something and she never did anything? I didn't even see her campaign for anything.
Well,
she campaigned for Kamala. Yeah.
Yeah, she campaigned for Kamala and then came out and was like, I wasn't paid anything. It's like bullshit. All you celebrities were paid like millions of dollars. Because there's no way, there's just no way you're going up there and believing that. Like, yeah, this is the right person. No.
I'm gonna try to stream League. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get a few videos edited and done before I stream League. So after
his internet was trash at the beginning of our show, is what it was. Yes,
allegedly. I'm gonna try and stream League, but I got to get some videos done first. I don't know how my latest video performed. I have to check right now. Usually it's been doing pretty good, so I'm gonna try and keep up my streak of putting out consistent content. But if you don't see me stream, it's because I'm working on putting out videos. I gotta make sure I'm consistent. You know, I've been doing that. A lot of people have been liking it. It's crazy. I've had a few videos kind of technically flop, and then they just got better with some days. I told people, you might have videos that come out that don't do well initially. Just give them time. I put out a comic book haul for that Superman omnibus that I have. It did better within like a few days. Just, don't always be down on yourself. Just give it time. And my videos never flop. That was just a joke. I'm obviously the master of crafting the content.
Yeah, I was surprised. I just did a Den of Thieves 2 review yesterday, and I was like, nobody's probably going to watch this movie, but it has more views than my top 10 video. And I was like, okay, whatever.
But I thought there was
sometimes it works.
But I heard nobody's interested in new movies. I heard it was just it's a psyop,
Well, it was the only movie that came out since the beginning of the year.
Might be the reason why.
It's the first one, so
yeah. And I'll tell people this: if you want to just review new movies, you can. There's an audience for it there.
That's pretty much what I'm doing at the moment. But the next thing I'm doing is I had a friend of mine from Hold My DualShock help me today. He was trying to show me how to set up streams and stuff, and telling me I need to make an overlay and do a few other things. And I'm like, okay, at least now I got something to aim for, and then get that done and update my videos.
Man. Chaz, why don't you stream? Because he has to install his new PC. So his new tower should be installed tomorrow when we have the Cloud9 podcast. So the Cloud9 podcast, everyone, is tomorrow, 8 p.m. PST. We have to do it now because the season's literally around the corner, starting this week. So that's going to come back, and you'll expect that. More episodes, more content from me, big dog, big top G. More League of Legends content. Great League of Legends community I support. Good Lord, full of fucking tranny weirdos and fucking Asians. Good Lord, I hate egg rolls.
I didn't even know people still played that game, but
a lot of people do, apparently. People said, "Oh, Vanguard will sell your information." Guys, I don't give. I know that was bad what Riot did with the whole Vanguard protection. Your information is already sold. You have a Google account. They already know what you do. They already sold that shit. They see you fucking your girlfriends. I guarantee you they do. It's over. Just let them watch,
Gentlemen, I am out of bubbly here. I'm going to call it a night.
Yeah, we're going to wrap up here in a little bit anyway. But Before you go, do you have anything you want to plug beside my wife before you go?
Just Popcorn and Whiskey live stream. I also do for fitness for old folks, fitness over 50, top fitness strategies. Look it up. I do podcasts, live streams. Have fun. Follow me, Andrew Paleto, or Top Fitness Strategies, wherever you find it. There you go.
Hell yeah, man. It's great to have you on. Can't wait to see you next week if you're going to come around.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Have a good one, man.
Have a good one, man.
You're right.
I think he hates white women. Damn bigot. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What gave you that?
I'm a liberal. I just make up shit and think it's real because I.
Oh, okay. Then so you're just like Chelsea Green.
He's Newsom's ghostwriter, like you said, man.
Mm-hmm. His tweet where it said the facts and all that shit was lies. So, jeez, you can't make this up. You literally can't make this shit up, man. It's actually incredible. But just want to let you guys know, get ready for a lot of more content. I mean, you guys have already seen me put out more content. So I'm dedicated to doing this now. I'm going to get that consistency itch back into your guys' mind of me being the top G, All right. Right 1 sec here. Oh, the video did pretty well. Oh, it did pretty good. Awesome. I like it. That's why you see a lot of people who just stream now just take the topics and clip them out. Usually on Saturdays, I don't usually want to do that because I just get off work and I'm so tired. I don't have time to even set up topics for the show. So I just want to just have a chill night. Usually for Mondays and Wednesday show, we'll usually have topics if I can get them together. There's going to be some for this week coming up too. There's going to be some bangers, literal bangers. You just can't even imagine the level of absolute banging I'm going to do on the show. I have so much knowledge of this stuff. I just could just destroy people with my facts alone. You guys believe me?
No.
Oh, thought you were on my side.
Not
So-
even
so-
remotely.
It's okay. It's okay. But don't worry, guys. Sony will still put out a Spider-Man-led villain movie without Spider-Man. And they'll be like, well, why did no one go watch it, guys? But hey, you guys told me if they just put the right people on it, it'll just do well. I heard if you just put the right people on it, it'll just do well. Right? You know? No. How that works. Fucking losers. You guys' arguments are so bad. People will gaslight you to believe the most dumbest shit possible. Even they don't believe it. They're like, MSK, just believe stuff. You gotta have hope. It's like, I have hope. I'm not just retarded. I'm a smart individual.
I like how you say you're not just retarded, acknowledging the fact you are in fact retarded.
I am a smart 200 IQ man.
It's like, I don't know if you know this, but I'm sort of retarded.
I have what they call profound mental retardations.
Hey, I'm something of a retard myself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
I'm something like a window licker myself.
Remember people were calling them glue eaters?
I too like to sniff puddles.
Have you seen their MCU Reddit page? It has some of the most retarded takes ever, but I love it because they're like, hey man, just another few
People
movies.
still use Reddit.
Yes, yeah.
Like-
and the takes there are so retarded on MCU because they have a lot of fans because their movie universe is gigantic. But bro, it'll get back to where it was in the pre-Endgame time. It'll come back, man. We just have to support Captain America 4, and it'll show people that the MCU is still alive. It's like you guys are so optimistic. I actually feel
The
bad.
thing's
for
already
you.
set up for failure. The thing's gonna bomb, man. Now it probably won't bomb as hard as the Marvels. I'll at least give it that.
You know
much.
what? I think it'll
Which
bomb
that
just
is
about.
such a low bar, but
I think it'll bomb in just about the same range. I think it'll do 150 lowest, $200 million highest. So bomb.
I think it'll be over 3, but barely. It's not going to make its, but it won't even make its budget back. Which, I mean, that's before the theater cut, you know. So
Oh no! Once you get those
yeah,
theater cuts,
once
you're
the
like,
theater cut in there, it's not coming close. Yeah.
yeah, it's like when you're looking at your bank account and you're waiting for that pending charge to process. The pending
Yeah.
charge of all the theaters taking their 50% cut. Oh no. That means you're left with what, $1 after you put it in? Oh god. The idiots online are like, man, studios just wanted to break even. No one spends $400 million on a movie, guys, just to break even. If you believe
Look.
that, you're retarded.
When I've tried to explain it to people when they read, you know, they're like, "Oh man, I heard that movie did really well," and I'm like, "Okay, here, man, you give me $200, and in 3 years, I'm gonna give you 240 back. You tell me if that was a good investment." Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm stealing that. That's the best argument ever. I love that
Yeah.
one. I love that one.
tell me that was a great investment for you, and then now you know put that into the millions. That's not how that shit works.
It's essentially
man.
like if you give someone $5 and they say they're gonna pay you back double and they give you $7. It's like, no, it's terrible.
Yeah, and it took them 3 years to do it.
Average people generally only look at the number the movie made at the box office. They don't look at the mark. And I'll be fair with people. Marketing budgets are extremely hard to find unless the studio blatantly revealed them, or not, and not even just them. It'd be like the marketing budgets are just only what is reported. Marketing budgets are extremely hard to find. It's very rare they have like the numbers out there because they know that if they're out there, the situation gets even worse. Because then remember how that one movie, it was that one animated movie that started out very bad, but then it took like $400 million in. I forgot the animated movie. It was a Disney one where it did better over time, and the executive was like, "You know what? It did okay." How did it do okay? Your movie's $200 million. Elemental. It's Elemental.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was doing very bad, but it ended up doing like $400 million, and the executive who oversaw the movie was like, it'll do better because we'll just sell it. It's like, what does that have to do with like box office? I don't care how much money you make on it after the box office is over. All that matters is what it made money here. But Disney actually did very well in 2024. So I guess they're
Yeah,
back,
just 'cause
right?
of,
I hope they enjoy it, because when Brave New World comes out in the next month, all that success is going to go up like a lead balloon. So,
Oh, it's just Kevin Feige in his chair watching as the MCU burns like Gavin Newsom.
pretty much. Yeah.
He wanted it to look like this. Gavin
Brave
Newsom,
New World might end up being the biggest disaster in MCU history, because
That's
all
saying
of
something, too.
the press about it has been bad. Like, it's gotten like 4 test screenings that it's all failed. So the movie is not good. They're desperately trying to dress it up like it is good. So there's no positive buzz about this film, and they've probably spent about $400 million just on the production alone. Which means this is a movie that has to make over $1 billion just for them to see black.
And you know what's the crazy part? To add to your point, this movie.
You can watch the movie; you'll see a lot of black in there. No.
Oh no, really? Black people in a white man movie? I'm just kidding, guys. So it was for the point you just mentioned. This movie was already done and made. They rewrote the entire thing. There was already people on it. Those people got fired. They refilmed the entire thing multiple times. So I don't even know which version so we're seeing like the 5th version of the movie now at this point. What was this movie before? This is like the 5th version we're getting, and the edited version, because there's gonna be like deleted scenes, all that stuff that they don't put in there and bullshit like that. Could be the biggest disaster since Waterworld. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
What's his face? Seth Rollins, WWE guy, was in the film. They cut him from the film, and then they put him back into the film. And then that test screening bombed, and they cut him out of the film again.
Oh, I saw that. I know. Yep, I remember that one. Yep. And most people that saw it said it was boring. Like, it's not. Some of them didn't say bad; they just said boring. Usually, boring movies are bad. For being honest.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I know people who have already seen Thunderbolts, and they said that Thunderbolts is actually kind of fun. They're like, it's fun. They said that it's not very good, but they said it's fun. But those same people they haven't been invited to go see the Captain America one. But it's like that other one is still 4 months out, and this one comes out in a month. So that's not a good sign.
The review embargo, you'll know if they know it's bad. The review embargo, if they lift it basically on the Thursday night preview day, that means you know
it's like bad. The day before, the night before, yeah,
because if a movie is boring, you just hate your time there. Because if something's bad, at least you'll have something to talk about. Like, you'll point out like why it was extremely bad. If a movie's boring, not only is it just not good, it's just a slog to get through. Like, can I just finish this already? Like,
that's how it was with the Den of Thieves 2 when I was watching it. There's 2 people in my theater that fell asleep to the point where they were snoring. And I heard that. Like, there was one 2 seats over from me, and there was one behind me, like down the rows. And nobody bothered to wake them up because everyone understood, like, this movie's boring as fuck. Like, it's just too long, and it was bad.
It's bad.
That's how you know that they have no confidence in Captain America 4. None. If that review embargo lifts Thursday, because I'm going to go watch it. I usually watch these things Thursday because it's my day off, and that's the only time I really can most of the time, unless it's another day. God. Like, my theater didn't even have a big audience for Sonic 3. Well, to be fair, I went at like 7:30, so it was probably after school time. But it's hard to get people back in the movie theaters now, especially in our area. California's big. It's a big market for movies, and some of our areas don't do that well either.
When it's the bigger releases, like stuff like Sonic or like something that's going to be big, I go down to Burbank, and Burbank has one of the biggest theaters in California, and it's always packed. And it's like they consider it like theater seating because it's so fucking massive. And so, like, it's a better place to watch some of those movies too, because usually you got a lot of the enthusiastic people there, like people who really want to see the stuff. So even if the movie's not that great, like I saw the movie Thanksgiving, not a great movie, but the crowd had a fucking great time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but the crowd had such a good time that everyone kind of got into it. And I was like, all right. Then I watched it again at home with just a few friends when it came out. And I was like, man, that movie is actually pretty shitty. But I had a great time watching it in the theater. I was like, in the theater, everyone was laughing, having a good time. I was like, cool, man. The energy was good.
Dude,
there's a lot of movies that do that.
I had more people watching my Black Adam screening than Shazam 2. Dude, there was only like me and another guy watching Shazam 2. There was more people when I was watching Scream 6 than Shazam 2. That's how you know DC movies were circling the drain. If there's more people watching Scream than a DC movie, that's like
horror movies tend to do pretty well, man. Like,
yeah, no disrespect. I love Scream, even through all the bad ones. I love Scream, but it's just For Joker 2, I went to go see Joker 2. It was just me, my ex, her boyfriend at the time, and her sister. We're the only people in there. And why I made them watch Joker 2, I don't know. Because I wanted to hang myself, because I just love torture.
Yeah, if you wanted to torture your ex, I think you did a good job.
Oh no, she was being a little hoe bag with that boyfriend, but who she doesn't date now because they're tacos and they always have problems. But good Lord. Like, I remember her sister, she was saying, yeah, I like the first one. I was like, I like the first one too, despite the problems it has, because she knows I know comics too. She watched it after the grape scene, allegedly, in Minecraft. She says, this sucks. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
Now, you know what? You suck. You ever think about that, you dumb bimbo?
She was like, this is terrible. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And she is about as dumb as a bag of rocks.
Saying, you're adopted.
I was literally right next to her, so that probably would have been a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
God, man, because she is about as dumb as a bag of rocks as you can get. If she's saying something's bad, you know that movie's trash. Well, I got to head out of here in a little bit. I got to get some content done. Oh, edit to put up videos, obviously. So, what's up with Society? What you got planned coming up, man?
Well, tonight we retired the movie club show after 100 episodes. We talked about the absolute worst movies of 2024, and there was a long list of films. So go check that out. Thanks to all the pro wrestling haters out there, because it has like 1,700 views on Twitter alone. So that's the good thing. We have tomorrow night, the Bible Lens. Tiny will be back with us for the second part of our two-part series. We're going to talk about prophecy tomorrow night, so go check that one out. Tuesday, we have the Ballroom. We're going to talk about, obviously, the fire situation. Rick's going to do his best movies of the year. Friday, I have Nerdigans back on the show, talking about Pokemon anime on the Retro Wave show. And then Bounding in the Comics. I'm doing the 511 show on the YouTube side of things. I have some articles coming up on the site as well. So a whole bunch of stuff that I'm working on. You'll see me many places here in the next few days. So that's all I got coming up.
Wait a minute, hold on. I thought Bounty in the Comics was supposed to go under based off what John De La Rosa. I thought you guys.
Yeah, he said that we were supposed to go under 6 months ago after he got booted because he didn't get the job that he wanted to get hired. Then he went and told a bunch of lies about Bounding going corporate and selling out to Disney and all this other stuff. And now we're still around almost, a year and a half later, and he's still sulking with his other little Catholic buddy, John Trent, because, we're still successful, even though they thought that the whole thing was going to fall apart without us, and it didn't. So, oopsie daisy. Maybe you guys beat your wife some more.
Well, I thought you guys were bounding into corporate.
No, that's what we figured out now. Now I'm doing a 511 show that talks far more about biblical stuff than any of those other two chuckle fucks ever did. So yeah, going great. Everything's coming up Millhouse. How about that? Remember that whole thing? Remember the Simpsons when they were a thing?
Good Lord. All right, Sci-Fax, what you got planned coming up?
Well, tonight I'm going to be working on trying to get an overlay done so my videos will look a little bit more professional and stuff, and start looking into streaming. Tomorrow I'll be on DA's stream for the DA's office. It usually starts about 8 o'clock. No, that's just what he calls it. But that'll be at 8 o'clock. And then during the week, usually I jump onto the nightcaps that are usually Tuesday, Thursday. And then Thursday in the afternoons, I'm on with Hold My Dual Shock. Those guys are great. Go check out their channel. And then I'll be doing reviews on movies. Once I get my setup a little bit more down, I'll be doing more consistent reviews. Probably on like anime and stuff is the goal. So that's about it.
Yes, sir. For me, I'm going to try and hopefully stream League of Legends when my internet isn't just complete, utter dog shit. I don't know why it's been doing that. I mean, I pay for upgrades because Spectrum is trash. So more consistent content out of me in a shorter time frame. You guys have been seeing that. I've dropped videos on my main, obviously this channel. I've dropped them on my comic channel. I do want to get those other two YouTube channels that I want to start off the ground. I do. I really want to do that at some point. Tomorrow, I have a one-on-one with the Culture Nerd for a second appearance. And then we're bringing back the Cloud9 podcast with me and Mr. Blanks, the black guy that you see in the chat, actually. We're going to talk about the LCK 2025 Winter Split team tier list. And we're going to do a couple of videos, obviously, in that show as well. So anytime that we're going to do basically League of Legends videos now, as far as like the esports side of it, we're going to do it in the podcast. And then I'll just release those videos out as, clips, obviously. And after that, the MSK show, Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, that's our panel shows. Tuesdays, moving forward, we have Professor Savage Jab with me and him doing the comic book stuff. And then we'll talk about other things as well, usually on that show. But if there is a week where he has to go out of town for work, then we'll just do it that following Sunday. So that's another thing. Then I have another guy that will talk about comic books with me, and we'll just do white guy stuff. I'm kidding. So I have another guy for comic book stuff as well, Laps Comic Fan. We're going to try and get a weekly show going on talking about comic books, particularly new stuff as well. So you guys will not just only have Savage Dad for comic book stuff, you'll also have, Laps Comic Fan as well. So going to have some more shows popping up here in 2025 and more content. So you guys should, you guys have been subscribing and enjoying the content. So it's really all I can ask for. We're almost monetized here. So you guys have been enjoying the content. So that's a pretty good thing. So $1. Yeah, nice to meet you too, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you like comic books, I have my comic channel. So thank you so much. So you're muted, dude.
I was gonna say, or you can subscribe to my channel and not subscribe to his channel.
Are you saying, are you clout chasing right now?
Am I conspiring against you? I don't know. Depends on what your definition of conspiring is.
Did the left conspire against Joe Biden to get rid of him before the election?
Yeah, look how well that ended for him.
Yeah, it ended great. Kamala Harris is president.
Mm-hmm. She totally would have won if she had fought Trump, remember?
Oh no. Things that did not age very well. We had like someone else in here. Who was Judo, Joe Black. I don't know if you're subscribed, but hopefully you subscribe if you haven't already. Post a link. Do I have to shill up these white people? Fine, don't worry. Give me 1 second. Literally 1 sec. I'll do it right now. I'll literally just do it right now. Give me.
Mine is just at Cyfax on YouTube. So I can't post links on. You can only post links if you're modded. So
that's true. Yeah, so stupid. I hate that shit sometimes. And well, to be fair, it makes sense because someone could just post a link of porn, and then
that's why they did that. They can only do that so often because people would just spam up like obscure, terrible shit to click on, or like viruses and shit.
Michael, I don't know if Michael's not. Yeah, he's asleep. Here. So if this is not a link directly because I don't think I made this channel my username a mod. I'm pretty sure it is. If you can't, just copy and paste that into the URL. Let me get Cyfax's for a moment here. Well, what a name that is. You have a good lord. Why can't you get a normal name? But to be fair, when I type you into YouTube, you automatically pop up as the first guy. So.
Oh, me?
Yeah. You're the only Cyfax to exist.
Yeah, it's a name I made up back when I was reading Lord of the Rings in 7th grade because it's a mixture of Cyrax and Shadowfax from Lord of the Rings. So my favorite character in Mortal Kombat at the time in this. And I've always been able to use this name for everything. So I've just used it for like 25 years now. And it
definitely sounds like a name that a 7th grader would think was very cool.
Yeah, I just combined the two names and it's worked forever. So I'm like, fuck it.
I wouldn't tell anyone that's how you got the name because next thing you know, you're gonna get like lawsuits from like NetherRealm because they're gonna be like, you stole our shit.
I tell people that all the time because it's just a combination of like it's technically 3 different characters, but I was just like, I just combined it all and it worked.
That was my mentality too. Yeah, I just combined 3 words that sounded cool to me in my head, and I was like, that sounded pretty cool. I'm gonna go with that name. It's better than going by my actual real name. You don't want to have that. I don't want people to do that. Do not have look, someone doxed me. Yeah, because you used your real name. You fucking loser. Make an alias. Good lord. You got I'm really the top G.
If I put my real name out there, it would just like there's a bunch of companies that use that same name for like all sorts of random shit. So
God. See, this
is
a very lie.
Basic white guy name.
This is a lie, obviously. Good lord. That would be me, the top G Rizmaster. But yeah, since I'm the channel owner, if I post links in there, they work. So there's Cyfax and their society's YouTube channel links. Go subscribe to them. I'm gonna try and work on getting more episodes of the Iron Man podcast out on the podcast platforms, and I'm gonna work on uploading these episodes there too. But I gotta put the rest of the Cloud9 episodes first before that. Hey man, did you get your freaking PC working so your fan doesn't ruin our show? You son of a bitch, bastard. God damn. Make sure you fix your mic, you son of a bitch. Love you. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Expect one-on-one tomorrow, Cloud9 podcast, and then you got I'm just going to be releasing content as I can just get it done and edited. That's pretty much it. So thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. We'll